the night. The city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak of wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, you and I.
Hello everyone and welcome to RFDL Week 2 Day 1 from the Ecliptic Fades. I'm joined by Aerolax, Docky, and Firestreak. How are we doing today, guys?
Doing great.
We're doing good.
We're
Excited to see the matches.
feeling amazing, and I'm ready. Like let's run these matches, Fades. Let us in.
Well, we're waiting for our first couple of teams to confirm being ready for the day, so it's still gonna be a little bit before we get to that first match of the day, but it's gonna be an exciting one to start the day, as we have some very exciting matches this entire week. But let's talk a little bit about last week, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and run some of the replays from last week here as we talk about these, just to let you guys see some of the games that you missed out on. And my goodness, there were some really good games, guys. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it was exciting.
Absolutely.
I think we definitely had I think Aerolux said this last week. You know, we had some 3-0s, but every single game, I mean, these are 1-goal games, so every match was exciting.
Yeah, not a whole lot of just one-sided matches, which is always good to see. Just seeing people go out and compete. It's always always good to see some close games. Get to see people play to their potential, and I mean, we'll see if we can keep that up this week. You know.
Yeah, and this game in particular we're showing right now was the featured matchup, and it did not disappoint with Black Bunny Gaming and Twisted Tales going all the way to Game 5. Definitely was the match to watch that week if you missed out on anything. And I'm really excited to see just how much the teams might have improved over this last week. We did see a lot of teams that we kind of thought would win take an L last week, and show that they definitely have a little bit more practice to do with their team starting off with the league. Do you expect any sort of really good comebacks coming into week 2?
Yeah, I think I definitely have one team I'm keeping my eye on, and that being that Purrsion Rebellion team. I think they're a really solid team that had a really slow start last week, and I think they're just going to come back this week really just hungry to really show everyone what they're all about. So, I mean, that's a team I'm going to keep my eye on this week, and hopefully we see a good showing from them this week.
Definitely.
Yeah, I have to agree. Any other teams that you guys are kind of watching this week?
I mean, for me, it's ironically, as we're watching these replays, Twisted Tales, I think, showed up, played really, really well. Unfortunately, they did not quite work it out in Game 5 overtime, but they played, I think, fantastic against a solid opponent. So we'll see if they keep that momentum going. Definitely a team that I'll be looking to see if they can kind of carry that. They played really well. Maybe hype themselves up a little bit more, play better. Oh, I don't even know if they need to play better. They played really, really well. So they just keep up with what they're doing. I think they'll win more games down the road. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Just how both Black Bunny Gaming and Twisted Tales were playing last week was just nothing short of phenomenal. Especially with just like it felt like clips were happening left and right, specifically from Joshy and Hammer, which is to be expected from our two SSLs of the league. But it was really just such a great matchup, and definitely deserved to be the featured matchup of the week.
Definitely.
Absolutely, and I think last week I was kind of surprised to see the slight difference in playstyle that Hammer and Joshi took on their respective teams. Joshi was much more their like playmaker, their goal scorer, while Hammer he seemed to just be really supporting his team really well. So, I mean, I'm curious to see if, especially on that Black Bunny side, if they're going to keep that up throughout this week. And I'm wondering if if Hammer's going to take more of that goal scoring, that kind of be more of a striker for them, or if they're going to be more, or if he's going to continue just being that strong supporter for his team. But yeah, Fade, what were you about to say there?
Actually, I don't know what I was really gonna say. I'm just very excited to see some of the matches today, see how these guys progress. I'm also looking at some of those teams that did get the wins last week. I know one match in particular, our featured matchup of the week is going to be not Twisted Tails, Optic Gaming versus Dignipaws, which includes some of the members on this desk. I'm very excited to see how that one is going to go. Along with some other really good matchups, I think our second matchup for today is LumiMawcity versus X3 Tactics, and I can't wait to see who can take the win on that one. But while we're talking about the schedule, let's go ahead and show everybody what we've got going on here. We'll start off with the leaderboard. To start off a little bit here, as you can see, all of the 1-0 teams on top, all the 0-1 teams on bottom. Twisted Tails does get that 7th place because they are the only team to take their opponents to a game number 5. And meanwhile, the bottom 3, BDS, Cloud9, and Purrsion Rebellion, all getting swept in that first week. We're going to have to see if any of them can bounce back during week number 2, try to get some spots gained here in the leaderboard. But as for our matches today, we've got quite a few this week that are going to be exciting. Today we are going to be doing Cloud9 and Twisted Tails, LumiMawcity and X3 Tactics, and Dignipaws and Purrsion 1, with the other 3 happening tomorrow. Which one are you guys excited to see the most today, guys?
I mean, for me personally, I've got my eye, I think, set on that X3 LumiMawcity matchup. That'll be exciting for me to be able to see how those two teams match up. I think it's I would say two vastly different playstyles. And so we'll see if they're able to adapt to each other. They'll have to do that, as the game progresses, which is always difficult. Maybe you start losing, and you need to make changes. And so if you're able to do that, kind of as the game goes on, coach yourself. And so that's the big one for me, I think, to keep my eye on. Because that game, I think, will be exciting.
I mean, Doc, I think you kind of left me the low-hanging fruit there, so thank you for that. But I mean, Dignipaws Purrsion 1, the current number 1 and number 2 teams facing off against each other. I mean, how could that not be in a game that you're keeping your eye out on? So, I mean, 2 teams that really excelled last week, and we're going to get to see who's able to carry that momentum forward into the second week of play.
And one thing that's interesting about those 2 teams is that both Dignipaws and Purrsion 1 are actually tied in just every single thing on the record. Just 1 win, 0 losses, 3 game diff, and 5 goal diff.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'll talk at once. I was just saying that Dignipaws and Purrsion 1 being in first and second, they are technically exactly tied, since both their game diff and goal diff are tied as well.
Yeah, I did notice that. That's very interesting because you would expect that from Dignipaws, but I think at the start of last week, no one was really expecting that from Purrsion 1, but they really did show up in a strong way against Cloud9 last week.
Indeed, they did.
Yeah, I think that they are looking way stronger than I ever expected that team to mesh. They're just meshing very well, and if they continue with that chemistry that they're seeming to have, just setting each other up, it felt like every opportunity that Purrsion 1 had was just, it felt easy. Just watching them kind of help each other. Every goal opportunity just felt like something that the first man set up for the second man. The second man didn't have to do too much. other than just kind of be there. If they're able to do that more, that'll be a tough team to go up against. Obviously, you know, they did sweep their first series. They'll have to kind of keep up that pace and keep up that form. But if they're able to play like they did that week 1, I think they definitely can.
Yeah, I have to agree there. But Dignipaws, that's going to be quite a team to go up against. But for now, guys, let's move on a little bit. We've got a bit of a new segment for you guys here. We're going to go ahead and show you guys the top 5 plays of the last week, just to give you guys a taste of the best from the last week. And I mean, I'll go ahead and start this one off, as I will let you guys know we are still waiting on players from both teams to be available for this first match, so we might have a little bit of a longer pre-show as we wait for that. I think Twisted Tales might be looking for a sub right now, so we'll have to see how that goes. But let's go ahead and show the top 5 replays of the week for week number 1, and we're gonna be starting off this first one with a very, very nice play from Corrupt here, taking that hit off of the sidewall, going for the immediate recovery and the shot into the back of the net. This one was really nice to see. You can see how he hits that ball there, gets the perfect landing to keep his momentum, and turns up towards that ball, able to get the shot on, tying the game. And then we get to clip number 2. It's going to be Hayes from Purrsion 1. Flip reset by Drake, an excellent dunk on 2 members of Quad 9. And Hayes is there to get that ball right in the back where it needs to go. Look at that flip reset. So beautiful, and such an incredible dunk, and good positioning from Hayes to be able to put that into the back of the net underneath with another dunk. Then we come into play number 3 for this week, and it is going to be Not Joe, and a little bit of an audio bug as our Spotify now goes there, but you can see this Not Joe pass over to Docky. The entire team play coming out for Not Joe there. One of the best plays we saw during the week. Number 4 coming out here. Hammer up in the air, gets a really good flip reset. The pass to Sam, and it is going to be that overtime goal that you will see there. And that is such a nice way to end off the series for Black Bunny Gaming. And then lastly, we have clip number 5, and it is going to be Sharky getting an amazing play here. What a redirect coming out from Sharky. This was another overtime in the Black Bunny series, and you can just see the absolute precision on that final touch to get that shot on net. And what a good 5 plays, guys.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Becky.
I was gonna say that the Joshy Boy one had to be number 1. It's just that redirect is crazy. In overtime to win it. Great pass from Liska as well, but just the ability to get there to like right before, because Sam was already up in the air challenging, and just to be there just quickly enough to get that around. It's such a good redirect. One of the best I've seen in a while.
I mean, the placement on 2, just to strike that just dead center of net when the net's open like that, like there was never a doubt once that ball left his car. So like the placement, the execution of that was just beautiful. Can't harp on it enough. Just a beautiful shot. Arrow, what was your favorite out of all those?
I mean, like, I feel like obviously it's gonna be that Sharky Boy redirect. Like, that is just absolutely nutty. But I also want to give credit to that shot from Korup as well, because I am just an absolute fan of just those kind of controlled touches onto the wall, then coming back off the wall and just making a play off of that. Just something about those kinds of shots is just so satisfying.
Definitely.
All right. Well, with those plays out of the way, we got another little bit of a new thing for you, as Arilax, I'm sure, is about to get ready. But we have an extra segment that we're going to be doing every week called Play of the Week, where Arilax is going to take a play and use his GC3 brain to kind of analyze it for us and kind kind of show us why it's such a good play. So he's going to be getting that one set up, but I'm very excited to see that the play that he has ready for us today. And you know, I don't really have too much to say. I will give you guys an update. I think all the Cloud9 members are here. However, Twisted Tails still, I think, looking for a sub. They might have found one, but I do need to just check. Yep, it looks like they have found a sub, which actually is going to change a little bit of the landscape of the series. So we will let you guys know how that's going to go as soon as we get a confirmation on that. But I think Arrow is going to be ready for this play. So we will hand this over to Arrowlax with the play of the week.
All right, thank you, Fade. And play of the week is, of course, going to be that redirect from Sharky. Just, again, such an amazing play here. I'm just going to show it here from his perspective. The pass from Liska, and just that touch is just so very precise. Getting that is most definitely not easy, but I just want to break down kind of the setup going into this here. So let's just slow it down here. As Baxis trying to go here, tries to get a 50 on Hammer, and at the same time, Sharky actually gets bumped from Vezix. And 17 boost doesn't really have much to do, but is able to just rotate his car, wave dash on the ground, putting him more midfield. And that pass from Liska just able to reach around and just get just that such precise touch on the ball there. And that just sends it right over Sam's car and is just going to slam it right into the back of the net. No bounce as well. Such a glorious shot to end off game 2 in that series.
All right. And that is a really nice play, Arrowlax. Definitely one of the best from Sharky, I would say. I'm very excited to see if Twisted Tails can do that once again. But we will just have to wait and see if that is going to be the case. I do think that they're going to have a little bit of a tough time, but we shall see what they do here. I will let you know that I think we are confirmed on the Twisted Tail sub coming into this one. So we are going to start setting up that lobby here soon, guys, and then we will be talking about the first match of the day. But it looks like, I'll just let everybody know, it looks like the player is going to be Abyss subbing in for Baxis. And Abyss is going to be a NA West player. So instead of the servers being alternating like we thought they might be, we are going to be on, I believe, US East for the entire series. So that's going to definitely change the landscape of how this game will play.
Absolutely, it will. Anytime you get those servers changing from what we thought they would be, it would be, that's definitely something to take note of. Hopefully it doesn't have too much of an impact on the series, but you never know. So we'll see how the teams are able to adapt to that changing environment, and we'll go from there. Docky, being another US West player, how do you feel like those servers can affect the course of a series, and do you think it's gonna do that on this series in particular?
I mean, it can, but I will say, just from my perspective, I mean, I played with Josh Yellow last season, and as a US West player, it was difficult, you know, trying to just get the timings right, because like, in terms of like playing together. But for the actual league matches, everything was pretty much fine. We played on, I think I even played on EU in some of those. Just and we managed to win games. So it's not the most drastic thing. You just have to be used to it. If you're a West player that has played on East before, it's not the end of the world. It can be a little bit off-putting if you've only played West though. But like I said, Josh has played with me and other West players that have had to play in East. So I'm sure Josh can help them kind of get accustomed to maybe the 80, 90, you know, worst case scenario 120 ping that you deal with on East from a West player. But yeah, it's definitely better than EU. So that's a plus for them.
Very fair. Yeah. And Arrow, Do you think these server shenanigans, these changes, are gonna have any impact on this server or on this series?
On the server.
My apologies.
Yeah, I feel it's definitely going to have a big impact, but we can't really know how big of an impact it's going to be until we just see the games outright.
Very fair, well said.
I have to agree there. I definitely think we're just gonna have to see what the game is. But with that being said, I believe I'm going to be hopping out of here in a few minutes to get ready for that. So I am just making sure everything else is ready on the back end, and then I will help that out. I do need to talk to Cookie about something real quick. So I will, because he's going to be running the live lobby, so I'm going to go ahead and hop out of here and get that set up. And while that's happening, if you guys want to, you know, do some trivia or something for a couple of minutes until we get everything set up, then we will be good to go. But I will be back after the match, guys, so I will see everybody on Twitch after I am back.
Alright.
Sounds good. Okay, so welcome to the first segment of RFDL casters try to throw up trivia to stall guys. You know, best time ever. We got lots of season 0 facts, but I think I got one season 1 fact that I think everyone will know the answer to anyways. So okay, in RFDL season 0, during a stalling period, on the later half of the season, I believe it was, which current season 1 active player made their debut appearance playing against Dignipaws in matches that were just there to stall until the other team was able to show up?
I think I know this.
Yeah, I'll let you because I have no idea.
Alright, I think it was Baxis.
Ooh, very good. Docky, do you have any guess on that?
I'm actually not certain at all. So I feel like giving a guess would just make it worse. So I'll steal arrows.
How dare!
I mean, I think that was a good choice, Docky, because it was indeed Baxis. It was just a group of players that we kind of just threw in a match to stall for time while we were waiting for... I don't remember what team it was against, but yeah, it was against Dignipaws, against Baxis, I believe another Diamond, and a Champ.
Oh,
so, yeah, that was very interesting games to see, at the very least. So, yeah, very much a that was interesting when we were just needing to start and stall, you know. But what else do I have? I'm trying to choose ones that are a little bit less obvious. Okay, so in RFDL Season 0, which substitute player played in 5 series, the majority of them being against Dignipaws?
I mean, I feel like that one, I think me and Alex both know that one. But
Yeah.
I'll just go out and say Devil.
Yeah, it's Devil.
That was Devil/Angel. You guys know your stuff, clearly.
Yeah.
I have to throw this one in because it's probably my favorite question that I have in here. But hello, Fade.
Hi, Fade.
Oh,
Alright, goodbye, Fade.
I don't think Fade intended to be heard there. So, in RFDL Season 0, after the Championship Series, which player replied to interview questions exclusively with the quack soundbite? Which, if anybody doesn't know, it is that one. So, yeah, which player replied to interview questions with only that soundbite?
I also know this one.
I also know this one too.
Yeah. So I'll answer for both me and Alex since we both know it. But that would have been Vayan/Silver.
Yep.
Honestly, goated player from season 0. It was a shame to
Absolutely.
not. It was a shame to not see him sign up this season, but hopefully we'll see him return in future seasons because really,
I mean, like you can't really blame him honestly, because like you, like first season you play in, you win. Like
True.
can't do much better than that. Just
100% win rate. Just take it and run.
yeah, there you go.
right off into the sunset.
Yeah.
You know.
Knock me out. Like,
Honestly, kind of deserve. Anyways.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey, I got to do it for the storyline, you know? The storyline of Docky versus Fire this week, okay?
Oh my, that's true.
Gotta build up the anticipation, you know?
We gotta start beefing.
I know one of you two is definitely gonna know the answer to this one. But so if you know this one, don't answer first. We want the other person to answer. But in RFDL Season 0, which team, after making some roster changes mid-season, became the lowest budget team in the league? I'm assuming both of you feel like you know that one. There is a hint I have for this one if you are struggling. But yeah, Docky, I think we'll start with you on this one.
Oh no.
If you need a hint, I can give you a hint.
Yeah, can we take the hint?
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one actually.
Oh, this hint is a little bit obvious. But it is a team that went from being a bit lower on the leaderboards to really making a solid comeback towards the second half of the season.
Okay, I have no clue.
Feel free to answer.
You told me. I guess I could just guess. I'll guess rule no, but I feel like that's not right.
So the change that was made was changing from Bloop, who was listed as an SSL, to changing over to Airlax, which dropped them $150 under budget. And that was rule no. That came in, just went on a tear during the second half of the season last season. So
I believe we actually for that latter half of the season, I believe we tied Black Bunny Gaming in record for that last half of the season.
Dang.
Yes, that
I think we lost
right.
only one series, and that was to Black Bunny Gaming through a forfeit.
That is very fair. I mean, you guys just went on a complete tear in that second half of the season, but I think that is going to conclude the first edition of RFDL Awkward Stalling Trivia Questions. And because I'm getting word that it's time to start talking about the teams that are coming up in this first match, which is going to be Cloud9 versus Twisted Tails. Two very good teams. Cloud9 naturally is going to be repping Fades, but I'm not sure. Are we getting the player cards up here? I'm not sure if we are, but yeah, it looks like, okay, we're going to be starting with Twisted Tails, which is going to be a roster of Liska, Abyss for this match, and Joshi. You can see Joshi having a strong week for the first week, being first in both the saves and score category, while also being within the top 5 for shots per game. So, I mean, Arrow, do you think that he's going to be able to repeat that performance going into this first game of the week?
I mean, I can't say for certain. We just have to kind of wait and see, really, because going up against this Cloud9 squad, it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. Like Twisted Tails coming off of that very close loss from Black Bunny Gaming, like we're just gonna have to try and see if they can just kind of regroup from that, because that loss must have definitely hurt for them, but I'm sure that they can definitely bounce back.
I mean, absolutely. Anytime you go to a Game 5 overtime and it doesn't go your way, that can be very draining on the mental. But they've had plenty of time. I'm sure they're going to be bouncing back this week. Docky, who are you going to be looking out for on that roster? Who do you think has the biggest chance to like make a difference this week?
Well, definitely. I mean, I feel like almost obviously the last minute sub here is going to play a massive role in their ability to play as a team. Obviously, Liska and Joshi will, have chemistry together. But they're gonna have to try to incorporate a kind of an X factor, an unknown character that they probably haven't played. They might not have played with at all going into this match. It seems like, especially seeing that this was a more last second sub. So I think they'll be fine, but I think for the entire match, that'll be the player that I'm looking out for the most to make or break, I think, this series for that team.
Absolutely, and it's always good to see these last-minute subs be able to get an opportunity to really make a name for themselves, because we haven't seen much from Abyss so far this season, and I don't believe they were signed up last season either, so this is going to be their RFDL debut, so hopefully they're able to put on a good show and be able to really make a name for themselves in this first week. But I think that's enough of Twisted Tales. I think it's time to move on to the next series here, which is going to be Cloud9. And Cloud9 may be a team that stumbled out of the blocks a little bit last week, but they definitely have a very high skill ceiling. We're looking for them to have a bounce back week, with Voltac and Fades returning, but Devil ending up being subbed out this week because of an injury. So we're gonna see Skifty take his place this week, and I mean another GC1. And we're going to be seeing how they're going to be able to fit into these rotations on the Cloud9 side. Docky, I'm not sure if you've ever played with Skifty, but what are you expecting to see out of them during this matchup?
Yeah, this is a person that's more active, I think, on the server. So I think a few people are probably familiar with their playstyle. But like I said, and this kind of goes with the last team, again, not quite as last minute of a sub, but definitely more... changes to a roster can always cause, having to adjust your playstyle around how people play, what people can or cannot do. So, it almost kind of equalizes. I think they have the advantage just because they might have had more time to, I think, incorporate their sub into their playstyle and maybe try to get some reps in. I'm not quite certain on that. One thing to look out for as well, in that I know we talked about in the first one with the 2 EU players getting an EU West sub. This is the kind of the opposite in that we have NA East players picking up a EU sub. So we're gonna have ping issues, I think, on both sides that are gonna make the teams a little bit wonky. It should equal, I think, itself out. Just with them having the West sub and then having the EU sub on the other side, so that'll be interesting to see how the ping issues kind of take a factor in on top of having subs in. But I think that Cloud9 can come together, and I think that obviously they want to win this. They had a poor, as you mentioned, they had a poor, I think, kind of opening, self-admittedly so. I think they would admit that as well. So I'm sure they're hungry to get a win here.
Absolutely, and Arilax, I mean, do you have anything to add to that before we hop into this match? Because I think the players are just about ready to get started here.
I don't really have anything, except I just want to ask. We said that this is Abyss's RLDF debut. I believe it's Skifty's as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct.
I mean, we
So
have
that's
the
gonna be
battle of the
interesting.
subs. For sure, the battle of the substitute players. I think we have for this game, in terms of caster predictions, we have a full Twisted Tales sweep among the casters. So definitely, Twisted Tales is probably going to be our favorite going into this matchup, but we have the battle of the substitutes coming in here. So I think shortly here we'll be moving into the game. So yes, we have Twisted Tales and Cloud9, me and Docky on the cast for this one, and we'll be going right ahead into this matchup. Docky, game one, of week 2. Here we go.
Yeah, and we are starting with a good one, although we might have some in a production. Maybe Voltec's not joining. Okay, I think we do have everyone here. So we do start, and just like that, we have week 2, game 1. Cloud9, Twisted Tails, both teams 0-1 here to start the season, or start week 2. So I'm sure they both would like this win to go their way. We'll see if they're able to adjust to each other.
Yeah, and here we're going to see Liska trying to take control. We're gonna see a bit of a possession going in favor of Cloud9. They have some really nice early pressure here, and they're going to be looking to continue that pressure going forward in this match. Ball falls right in front of the Twisted Tails net. They're able to get the clear out. So, Docky, what are you going to be looking for on the side of Cloud9 to see them take over this game as Ecliptic Fades strikes one home? Well, I mean, he scored that own goal in week 1 really early on, but this time he scores it in the right net. So well done to Ecliptic Fades to put that one home. Docky, that bodes well for Cloud9. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think ironically you were asking the question that Fades answered for the both of us, and that I think the player to look out for here to see how well Fades can, I think, fit into this rotation. I mean, you got Voltec, who's a good player, but you have a new player here in the sub, and that GC1, same rank as Fade. We'll have to see if they can adjust to each other. It has been pretty aggressive, I think, from both sides. I think that I have not seen too much fault. Defense looks fantastic from both teams. It is only 1-0 for Cloud9. As I say that, of course, it's a great goal from Skifty. This is just a fantastic pressure. I was actually just about to say that it seems like Cloud9 has turned up the pressure, and this is exactly that. This is just fantastic pressure on the side of Cloud9 to make defensive Twisted Tails a little bit more awkward. They have to kind of adjust, rush back, and that's a fantastic goal from Skifty to make sure that goes 2-0. I'm sure they're happy to see that scoreline.
Definitely, and we've seen a ton of pressure coming out from Cloud9 here. Just, it seems like they're taking shot after shot, and you know, Twisted Tails is just not able to get a break right now. But as I say that, they're able to get a clear. Let's see if they're able to maintain that pressure. But Cloud9 seems to be able to just get a little bit of space on that defensive front, which is allowing them to really reverse the pressure whenever Twisted Tails seems to be able to start establishing it. But it looks like they're kind of having a midfield battle here in the mid, but it looks like once again Cloud9 is just able to flip it right over on Twisted Tails and just get that pressure. We're going to see a big clear come out though. Skifty trying to control the ball, going to their own corner, but Joshi is going to get a good dunk there. Shot close, not quite though. Good save by Cloud9. Skifty trying to get the double off a sidewall. It looks like they're all kind of bottled up in the corner there. They might want to fix those rotations if they're going to hang on to this 2-goal lead, but we're already about halfway through the game. A shot on net. Sharky is able to get the save there. Docky, what are you seeing that's just allowing Cloud9 to kind of have control over this match so far?
I mean, this Cloud9 team is already starting to become absolutely annoying. They are everywhere. They're jumping on almost every opportunity that Twisted Tail has. Any passing opportunity, they're just shutting down. And they're just not able to connect on these passing plays. And that's not to say that the passing plays aren't good. Cloud9 team is just so quick to get up to that. Again, even in their own case, as Fades will put in this one, they're quick to jump on their own passes. Taking advantage, I think, of a low boost situation. Sharky being, I guess they both did have boost there, but just really, really quick. Hard to read that, I think, coming off the backboard. And it seems to be because Cloud9 team is just connecting on these passing plays. I'm not sure if this is a advantage that they're having. Maybe they got a few more reps in with their sub. But I think you're starting to see some of those disconnects happening. Like you need the last second sub. You never played with them before. You're not entirely certain of their playstyle, and it just feels like Cloud9 has total control of the pace here. I'm sure Joshua would love to change that though. Tries to go for a solo play, might get the flick, but again, just Cloud9 team is just being absolutely all over the place.
They have been, and you see Abyss trying to slow the game down for them right there, and it's going to come down to Sharky. Kind of gives the ball away there, but is able to get the 50 after that. We have, I think that was Fade getting the pass over to Skifty for the clear, forcing Abyss to make a save there. Abyss gets the secondary save as well. They have really good pressure on the Twisted Tails net here. And Liska is going to take this one through the air. Fade makes the challenge. Fade is going to try to get a second touch, unable to though. And we're seeing a flick over Abyss for the instant pressure. Fade going for a challenge, is able to get it. Redirect attempt by Voltac, and that one's just off the post. Good attempt by Voltac, is unable to put that one on target. And Skifty just beats Joshi to the ball there, which is going to give Cloud9 the commanding 4-0 lead. And I mean, this looks the exact opposite of last week from Cloud9. They just have all the pressure, they have all the control over this game, and they just seem to be completely in control of their own destiny so far.
Yeah, it's a runaway. It feels like just everywhere. The entirety of their pressure has been, and again, as another one goes in for Cloud9, I'm not sure if this is a defensive mistake, maybe just a little bit too. If Josh is just left all alone in net, it's a tough one to read. I have to wait for it. Not sure who's going to go for that shot there. Some miscommunication on the defense. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too pushed up. They definitely want to get goals. I think you can feel that. You can feel that they want to get the ball forward. They're just not able to against this Cloud9 team. They're just jumping on almost any single ball that goes out. And we're seeing that as maybe a double commit there. Leads to an awkward position, but the pace that we're seeing from the Cloud9 team is almost unreal. I definitely feel like they have the advantage in possession, and I think you can feel that. I mean, obviously the scoreline shows that. This team is absolutely on a tear in game one.
They really are. They seem to have all the control, and it just seems they make it look so easy right now too, to just always be in the perfect position to just be able to challenge everything that Twisted Tails tries to put up as we head into the final 10 seconds of the game. But yeah, I mean, Twisted Tails is going to need to get a little bit more pressure, a little bit more control over this game if they want to make a quick comeback here, because if this momentum keeps up in favor of Cloud9, it's going to be a rough series for them. So, I mean, Docky, we're going to be looking to see, practically speaking, Twisted Tails do to be able to try to claw their way back into this game?
I mean, in the words of my favorite fictional coach, Ted Lasso, just be a goldfish. You lost 0-5 game one, but you got at least 2 more games to go. You regain yourself, recoup. It's not the end of the world. You come back, you play really strong. We're gonna have to see if they do that here. As we're looking at the replays, it's just all of the pressure on the side of Cloud9. They seem to have way more pace. Again, I think as the games go on, you get more accustomed to, again, a very last-minute sub, so they're having to adjust to that, and I think that is visually apparent in the gameplay of just trying to get accustomed to each other's rotations and seeing what your players can do in certain circumstances. So they got a lot of time to do that. It's not over yet, and if they want to do that, though, they're gonna have to start that right now.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need to make some really quick adjustments, and I'm going to be looking to Joshi there to see if he's able to really lead his team in the right direction here, because, you know, those one lopsided games can be really, really tough on the mental, and we've really got to see him try to really hold it together, really try to just guide his team in the right direction, because, I mean, they just got completely out-pressured there, and Cloud9, I mean, don't want to draw too many correlations there, but that just looked like the Black Bunny squad of last season, just having all the pressure and just really having full control during the entire game. As we head into game 2, we're going to see a kickoff once again go in favor of Cloud9. They're having the early pressure once again, already just right in front of the Twisted Tails net, and I mean, that's something that's going to need to change if Twisted Tails wants to get back into this one. They're trying for a pass across the middle of the field, but Sharky is able to clear it out. Uses all of his boost to do so, though, which is going to give Fades the shot attempt, saved by Liska, though. Sharky trying to get a 50, unable to, though, almost in the net, almost able to snipe that bottom corner, but unable to. And there we see Joshi getting a demo on the defensive half to try to give them some space, and I mean, that might be the key to help them get a little bit more possession in this game.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just the pressure already brewing, or although that's a huge miss. Oh, Fade's saving himself so close to that own goal, but learned his lesson from last week. Definitely doesn't want to put that one in his own net here in a close game too. I will say the pressure has been brewing for Cloud9, but this Twisted Tails team has done a little bit better of a job trying to just keep their ground, not let the ball get away from them. I think they learned early on. I think in that first game, if the ball gets past them, if they start to have to panic and scrap back on the defense, and they're definitely going to lose those. Although, as I say that, this is an awkward ball. Voltec has an opportunity. Does not have the double, but Skifty will be behind, and that is a 1-goal lead for Cloud9 yet again, back in the lead. Here in game 2, again, this is just such good pressure. I'm not sure if it was a fake or a miss, but it definitely left Liska in an awkward situation, not knowing exactly who's going to shoot that ball. The pressure here mounting for Cloud9, but we do have 3:43 left, so a lot of time. I think that this Twisted Tail team can regain. Maybe try to equalize.
I mean, they're absolutely capable of it. Right now, they just seem to be outpaced a little bit, rotationally speaking, and you have to wonder if that's in part due to that top-heavy roster, as Skifty is able to strike another one home. Just a beautiful high aerial by Skifty, coming in as the substitute for this team, and just having that confidence to get the speed on that ball is kind of insane there by him. So it's always good to see those substitutes just able to step in and play confidently. So, I mean, we're going into this game. It's still early, but 2-0 in favor of Cloud9 already, once again. And, I mean, this series seems to be fully in their control. We're going to see them kind of have a little bit of a hard time here clearing it out of their own half, though. Twisted Tail's able to get a few good 50s there. Sharky trying to put a shot on net, but that is a nice save by Fade there. Liska, trying to establish pressure, is able to keep it on their half. Sharky going for a possession play here, kind of just gives it away though. And Abyss is trying to keep it in that half, but that's going to be a pretty easy save for Fade just to put it into their own corner. Sharky, trying to take advantage of that team bump there, but he kind of messed up his mechanical play there. Unfortunate for him. Liska trying to keep it in, but Cloud9 is going to get that pressure going once again, and we're already seeing those midfield passes come out from Cloud9. Docky, I mean, Twisted Tails did have a little bit of an extended pressure there, so we're going to want to see more of that going forward as Fade just strikes at home.
Yeah, I mean, this is just pure awkward. Unfortunately, the ball is just... Again, this is part of that pressure, but this is such an awkward ball to read. You got to scramble back. I think if you're in net, you're kind of maybe hoping for a pop out in the corner. You're kind of maybe hoping that ball doesn't come back to you as you're trying to rotate back into net. But unfortunately it did, and that's in that position, that's such a tough ball to read. It seems like, yeah, as you had alluded to, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if this is maybe a slight honeymoon phase from this Cloud9 team with a new player coming in for that GC1 spot. They are connecting. It almost feels like they have been reborn, I think, with the new third here, as Voltec's been having a lot of fun, I think, going for some of these passing plays with Skifty. So they're definitely playing really, really well. Definitely just keeping up that obnoxious play style that they're going for, of just being everywhere that you don't want them to be. As there's a shot opportunity, Abyss will take that one. It's a fantastic pass. A little bit of an overcoming from Cloud9. I think they felt a goal coming here, but Liska makes sure that does not happen. It's a really good touch from Abyss. So 1-3, 146 left. Definitely not out of it yet. So we'll hope to see if they can get some momentum going. I'd love to see more offensive pressure out of this Twisted Tails team, and they will need to start on that as soon as they possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to beat these pressure-heavy teams, just to get those quick counterattacks where you get those passes out of your back half and just taking advantage of them being so pressure-heavy. But at the same time, they're going to need to do that very quickly and get some more of those plays going. As we see Cloud9 already trying to get more pressure, and Abyss is going to need to make a clear here, which he's able to do. Sharky, low boost, is trying to get the shot, though. Very close shot by Sharky. Good attempt by him to try to keep that ball, or get that ball in the net. We're going to see kind of a double commit into corner, though. Sharky able to get the clear. Unfortunate 50 coming out there on the side of Twisted Tails. It's going to turn to a midfield battle here, and Sharky is going to take possession. Good save there by, I believe that was Fade, and we're going to get Abyss trying to get a double here. Is almost getting it on net, unable to though. Liska with a 50, going to leave Sharky in a 1v2 here. He is able to stall long enough to let his team get back though, and I mean, 30 seconds left. We're going to need to see a play right here very quickly from Twisted Tails, and instead, Skifty puts it home.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think that that might just do it for this game, too. So, yeah, it's just out-pressured. All three. Cloud9's just there for that. I'm not sure. The transitions are just not quite there. It feels like every time they want to try to move this ball forward, they are met, and there isn't really anyone there to follow up to make it awkward for Twisted Tails. Unfortunately, they have some good pressure opportunities. They're just not quite connecting where they need to be. Anytime they get the ball forward, there just isn't really a follow-up. Anytime they have maybe a shot opportunity, maybe something to make the Cloud9 defense a little bit awkward, there just isn't quite someone there where they need to be. So we'll see if they're able to maybe, like, I mean, they're going to have to, I think, do this, unfortunately, in Game 3 if they want to make that adjustment. They will need to do that if they want to have a chance in this series. So we'll see if they're able to maybe put some more offensive pressure on, maybe connect on some of these. But right now, this is just a fantastic showing from Cloud9. They look very, very different than they looked in Week 1.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like an entirely new team. They just have so much pressure. They have so much more just control over the game, especially on that offensive half where they seem to just be able to put shot after shot after shot on net here, and it's, I mean, it's just really hard to respond to that, especially when you're playing a team that's as even and just consistent as Cloud9 is. So I mean, this is these GC1, GC2 rosters can be really tough to play against, and I mean, Jockey being on one of those rosters, what do you think the key is for Twisted Tails to be able to, get themselves back into this series?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you got to use your higher ranked players as a facilitator. I think they're trying for that, but they're just not able to, I think, unfortunately, connect on some of those. Unfortunately, when you have a balanced team, there's not really as much of a weak point. The only weak point you have is if you have your higher ranked players able to beat those players out in those 1v1s, maybe even those 1v2s. So you need to see more of that. I think Josh has just been put in a lot of uncomfortable and awkward situations, and that's tough to deal with. So we'll see if they're able to, I think, adjust to that going into Game 3 here, but that will be to be determined.
Absolutely. And as we head into this first matchup here, or this first reverse sweep opportunity for Twisted Tails, we're going to see Sharky on the kickoff is able to beat Skifty a little bit, but Voltac is faster to it. He's going to try to establish that double right there, but unable to. Sharky trying to clear it out, and we're going to see Skifty trying to pass it middle. No one on the follow-up, though, and Cloud9 is going to want to capitalize on those midfield passes a little bit better. A bit of a double commit there. Voltac establishing pressure, though. It's been on Twisted Tails half for the first 30 seconds of this game. We're seeing a shot trying to go bottom corner. Skifty just off the mark, though. And, I mean, we're seeing a lot of pressure already, Docky, from that Cloud9 squad, and Twisted Tails is not going to be happy to see that early on in this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's more of the same. Although you do expect that, I think, when you're coming into this match, you expect that they're going to have that pressure. It's just about how you counter it. They have a lot of time. You seem to be trying to go for that. It's just going to be, I think, unfortunately for their playstyle is entirely going to have to be in this counter-attack playstyle. Try to wait for opportunities. I mean, it's a balanced team, but they're going to make mistakes. Let them be the ones that make the mistakes. Try to capitalize on them. It seems like they might already be trying to do that. Full stack in defense that will prevent anything from getting close. And we'll need to try to turn this offense around and get a little bit less awkward for themselves on defense. All these touches are just not going the way that they want them to. Unfortunate double commit comes out. This might make an opportunity for Cloud9 to try to take an early lead. Really good defense from Liska, though, prevent that. And every time they try to move this ball out, they're just being met at every single time. It's got to be frustrating for them, but they need to keep their mental on the positive if they don't want this game to get away from them.
I mean, this is the longest amount of time they've gone without being scored on, so that's already boding well for them, I think. And, I mean, we're seeing Liska trying to keep on the pressure, doing a little bit of a team bump on Sharky, though, and that's going to allow Cloud9 to get the pressure on again. We're seeing Liska trying to clear it out there. She is able to do that well, but she ends up getting beat by Voltac, and Voltac is going to be going for a double here and is able to strike it home. Very nice double by Voltac. And I mean, I think we're seeing a lot of times where Twisted Tails is just trying to get that counter attack going, and they're trying to do it through solo plays, and you have to wonder if it might be a bit better for them to maybe go for those passing plays out of their own half like they were able to capitalize on last game, and that one goal they were able to put in. So, I mean, we're seeing a bit of pressure here early on. That midfield pass very close by Sharky, And I mean, Daki, those passing plays seem to be working out when they're able to execute them like that. And I mean, it's giving them lots of good opportunities. And are you looking to see them be able to do that more going forward?
Yeah, I feel like they just need to be. They need to work, I think, more on putting this Cloud9 team on awkward situations. I feel like Cloud9 looks incredibly comfortable on defense at this moment in time. Not a lot of these shots look too dangerous for them. They definitely have their moments where things look dangerous. They might have some scoring opportunities, but right now the team is just not quite doing anything that I think is catching Cloud9 off guard. It will be a matter of this counterattack. It's just one that might go through, but Skifty will have a touch. So it was not quite far enough, and they did a good job positioning themselves to make sure that they weren't too out of the play. They definitely will need to try to, I think, just try to make this team a little bit uncomfortable. It's definitely possible. We saw it happen to this team in week 1, so it is possible to keep this team on their back foot. They just need to maybe try to get some of these touches out a little bit past. But Cloud9 looks incredibly stoic in the midfield, just not letting anything out into their own half.
Yeah, it's why they're just looking to be in such control over this game. Even the scoreline is a lot closer than what we saw on the first 2 games. But we are seeing Abyss trying to get a nice dunk there. Sharky going for a double. It's going to get cleared out by Voltac, though. Abyss is a bit low on boost, but is able to chip it over Fade and gets a second touch. Not the one that they were wanting to get, because Twisted Tail is able to get a good 50 here. Sharky is trying to pass it middle, but Skifty is just exactly where Twisted Tail doesn't want them to be. And Fade trying to get a clear out. Fade, it looks like he's trying to go for a second touch on low boost, though. It looks like Cloud9 is a bit low on boost. That's a bit dangerous, as we saw last week. Teams getting a bit low on boost, but they're just able to recover really nicely after they're low on boost there for a minute. And that's just going to give them all the pressure on this Twisted Tail's half of the field here. And you know, that's a situation that Twisted Tail is going to want back, and maybe they're just not quite able to identify that they have the boost advantage there, but I mean, that's one that you want to hear, like Sharky trying to call out there and really communicating with that team. But we're going to see some good pressure. Cloud9 is looking a little bit awkward there, but they're able to recover well. Sharky going for the shot there, just unable to get the touch that he wants, and Liska kind of soft committing there, and Sharky going for a solo play. Sharky trying to get a little bit of pressure here, unable to get really anything that's in danger. They have 10 seconds to put it in, and it looks like Abyss is going to miss that challenge. Sharky challenging. And, I mean, there's a bunch of space here. Liska trying to put it middle. We're going to see if Liska is able to get it fully middle here, and that's a clear out. Abyss trying to hold pressure. Abyss trying to keep it up and is unable to. Cloud9 secures the sweep. And that's going to be a 3-game sweep there. Unfortunate for Twisted Tails. After all that momentum they had, having such a close match against Black Bunny last week, they're just unable to carry it forward. And that's just entirely revigorated Cloud9 team. I mean, they just look so calm, so in control, and just so just stoic, as you said, looking so good. And I mean, you have to wonder, with that change in roster, are they just going to stick with that going into future weeks?
We'll have to see. It's tough because I do think that, as we kind of alluded to earlier on, I think there was just, obviously you have a new incoming sub, so everything's always going to be difficult to adjust to. I mean, that's just Rocket League, right? You learn this, you know, even when you're duo queuing, when you're playing with people you've never played with before, or maybe that you just don't know how they play. Adjusting to that in those moments, especially in high pressure moments, like these league games are, it's difficult. And I think that showed itself. But I think it also showed that as the series went on, the games got closer. Up until game 3, it was only 1-0. So they definitely have the opportunity to play better, and I think that, you know, with maybe a more regular player, I think that team plays fine. I think that if they are able to get that out of their heads, and maybe, you know, we played with the sub, and we struggled at first, but as the game went on, we got closer and closer, and they did a really good job of kind of quieting that pressure that they were dealing with down. But unfortunately, they had it against them, just in terms of what they had to deal with. So I think that was a good showing from Twisted Tails, even though they were up against it. But a fantastic showing from Cloud9.
Yeah, just a really good showing by Cloud9. Definitely just the exact opposite of what we saw last week. And I mean, we're going to need to see if they're able to carry that into future weeks. But I believe that's going to be all for this game, guys, and we're going to be moving on to our next match, which is going to be LumiMawcity versus X3 Tactics. We're going to head over to break, guys, and we'll see you over on that one.
Hello and welcome on back to RFDL Week 2, Day 1. I'm Acoustic Fades with Firestreak and Docky right now. And guys, Cloud9 sweeping Twisted Tails. I gotta say, as a biased caster, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I'm sure you're happy about that. I mean, the biggest thing for me. I mean, you played well, Fade, but I was really happy to see the Voltac resurgence. I think Voltac had as Fire had said, week 1, a slow start at the blocks, maybe a little bit of a stumble. Voltac seems to be back in form, so that's terrifying. Voltac was getting a lot of those passing plays going, just kind of I called you guys an obnoxious team in the casting, and I think it was just true. You guys were just everywhere in the midfield. And I think Voltac was a big facilitator in that, so happy to see Voltac back in form.
Absolutely. Docky, I couldn't agree more, but kind of somebody that I really like to see is seeing a substitute come in last minute and just really play very well. And not to mention Fade also carrying his own. He definitely held his own in that match, definitely was contributing all over the field, scoring quite a few goals, if I remember right. So it's good that he... I know cats can be colorblind, but it's good that he was able to differentiate between his own net and the opposing net this series. So well done, Fade.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I felt really good during that match for some reason. Haven't played it all today, and now it's just like, I don't know, it just felt good. It just felt right. I will say, Twisted Tails, I think, played really good, but they were given a very unfortunate situation. Unfortunately, they could not get a hold of their third in Baxis, and I think if they did do that, I think that series could have been a lot different. It definitely felt a little bit weird with them all having a little bit of lag, being EU and West players only on US East, and it just felt, you know, they didn't feel like they were on their game for that. I think that the substitution really kind of had thrown them off their game a little bit, but I still think they played really well. The games were close. But I'm just, you know, I'm happy my team popped off. It was our first time playing with Skifty as well. We haven't even had time to scrim with them, and we really meshed really good. So might see them show up again for Cloud9 in the future, depending on what a couple of in-depth reviews of their game show us later on in the week. But guys, that was only our first game of the day. We still got 2 more, and we are getting the next lobby set up right now, and we are going to be going ahead to LumiMawcity versus X3 Tactics for our second match. It is a very exciting match coming up.
Absolutely. I mean, X3 having that very strong start against BDS last week. And then seeing LumiMawcity maybe not getting the start they wanted against Dignipaws last week, and they're going to be looking to have a strong comeback this week. So, I mean, it should be a good matchup, and I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah, and this will all come down to if Aerlex in these quick few minutes that he's been gone has been able to learn threes rotations. But, I'm joking. But no, I think that this will be a fantastic showing. One of the things that I think is interesting is that X3 on paper and in scrims have been playing fantastic. But they were pushed. I think there were some weak points in that BDS game that they played in week 1 that were shown. And you know, if you're LumiMawcity, I think you notice that. And with Aerlex and Gala, I think that they'll be able to, I think, maybe push that and kind of go for those weak points. So we have what is in the making of could be a fantastic series.
Well, Fade, I'm not sure if we have them on hand, but do we got those player cards to show off to everyone?
Oh, of course. Let's get started in talking about this match as everybody is starting to get ready for this. Let's talk about Cookie. Let's talk about how Cookie has everybody on the wrong side because he has the blue team where the orange team goes. But let's talk about the actual blue team in LumiMawcity here. As maybe he will exit the lobby to get that changed. We shall see. Aerlex, Gala, and Levi joining us in this one. As Avid is the manager here, he's definitely going to be hoping for a good team win here. As you can see, some of these guys on the top 5 of accolades so far, so we're gonna have to see if they can push for a win here. They had a really close game against Dignipaws last week, but unfortunately not able to get it there. Will they find success against X3 Tactics?
I think there's a chance, for sure. I think it's going to be a really close matchup. I mean, you see Arilax kind of getting in the top 5 there for total score per game, so he's just like really well-rounded. He's maybe not doing anything in particular at the top of the league right now, but he's just doing a little bit of everything to really support his team, which is what you want to see from your top-ranked player. And then Gala coming in, I believe it was 2nd place in assists, so I mean, Gala really carrying over that playstyle from last season where he was setting up Hammer time and time again. He's looking to do the same this season, so I mean, I'm excited to see if they're able to really start connecting on that, maybe seeing Levi and Arrow being able to capitalize a bit more on those passes in the midfield by Gala, but I mean, we'll just need to wait and see. You can only do so much speculation on it, right?
Definitely.
Right.
I mean, Docky, what are you looking for this match from the LumiMawcity squad?
It's. I mean, I think you said basically everything that I was going to say. Just hoping they can connect, I think, more on those passing plays. They had more time, I think, to get accustomed to the newer roster. So we'll see if they're able to do that. Again, it's not a super new roster. They did play this roster week 1, but they did have less time, I think, than the other teams just to get accustomed to everyone. So this will be I think, a more debut for them in terms of just the chemistry. I know that Gala's been playing a bunch more recently, so we'll see if that shows itself in their gameplay.
Yeah, I have to agree. But let's talk about their opponents here in X3 Tactics, and that is going to be a interesting match as well. Going to be Shy, Ruboy, Brian, and Corrupt, the Season 0 champion. We'll be talking about that for a little bit. But look right here, Corrupt, 1st in shots per game, 3rd in gold per game, 2nd in score. Shy getting 5th place in 2 of the accolades as well, so they are showing up pretty quickly, and they had a really good showing against BDS last week.
They really did, and I mean, I gotta be the one that's like the Corrupt comeback arc guys. So yeah, I mean, Corrupt played really well last week, and I know he's gonna be looking to do that again. He's always just peppering his opponents with shots. You have Brian that's really he's just like a brick wall back there. It seems like whenever he's 3rd man, he's just like stopping the attack right at that midfield, and it's always good to see your lower ranked player being able to do that. And I mean, Shy is a fantastic player in his own right, so I mean, Shy's gonna do what Shy's gonna do. Come top 5 and 2 stats, always good to see.
Yeah, that's an aggro team. We saw that week 1. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of us have seen that in scrims. Lots of shots. I mean, we saw, was it Corrupt number 1 in shots? Was it 6 shots per game? Yeah, it's a lot of offense with this team, and that can be off-putting and make you extremely awkward if you're not used to it. But and like you said, they kind of round themselves out with Brian being a good defender. So they're definitely a tough opponent. They're definitely not undefeatable, but they will be tough to go up against for sure.
Yeah, so before we get started, guys, we see the prediction in the chat. Wow, there's a lot of points on both teams. Fire, can you go ahead and update us what we predicted on Wednesday during the podcast for this matchup?
Yeah, so it looks like I'm the only one who chose X3 in this game, if I am remembering right, which it looks like I am. Yeah, I was the only one to choose X3. Everyone else was choosing LumiMawcity. So, I mean, we need to see who's right. All of us I chose it in a 4-game series. All you guys chose it in a 5-game. So we'll see who's right, and we'll see who ends up getting that point for the caster showdown. Always good to see who's able to capitalize there. But yeah, I think that's enough speculation. I think that's enough predictions. I think it's time to get right into the match here. So
Yeah, you are correct, guys. It's time for our second match of the day. This one, not gonna have the right setting because I forgot to change it, but you know what? It's gonna be LumiMawcity versus X3 Tactics, not X3 Tactics versus DDS. Hello, everybody. This is NA Production, and this is me and Fire on the cast here. And we're gonna get started very quickly into game number 1.
Yeah, and I mean, right off the bat, you're already seeing Brian getting a solid kickoff. It looks like Gala's going to take control, though. A little bit of a double commit there, soft double commit, but Airlax and LumiMawcity already showing so much more pressure in what they were able to get last week. They're just seem to be peppering the ball towards the middle of the field, but Krupp is going to be able to take control here, able to get a little play going for a flip reset, going for a control touch there, goes for another, but unable to get the second reset. Airlax pops it over Shy, and I mean, we're already seeing a lot of pressure from both teams here.
Yeah, Airlax getting a save right there. A little bit more of a ball controlled by X3 Tactics is what I was trying to say, but not going to get time as an unfortunate own goal to start the day. I think coming from Levi. Airlax doesn't have that touch there. Was going to wait for the catch down, but Levi, not expecting to have the ball pop right in front of them, hits it into their own net. That's not going to be the start that you want for LumiMawcity, but maybe they can rectify it right here. The shot from Airlax going to be saved by the defense.
I mean, that does put Levi in the in that tied for that top spot in the most own goals for the season, as we're always trying to keep track of. So we need to see how that plays out, and hopefully Levi's able to avoid that going forward into this series, because you never like to see too many of those. Airlax getting a good demo on Shy, and I mean, that's just the pace that Airlax can bring to the table when the time calls for it. Levi going for a low boost 50 there, unable to get it though. Airlax trying to get a double here, unable to get back up to it. Gala trying to control, unable to though. Gala gets a 50 towards the sidewall, and Levi is going to try to take a shot on net here. It skies it a bit high there, unfortunate for him. Airlax trying to pinch it back middle, unable to though. And Krupp is trying to make a play down the middle of the field here. Fade.
Continue on. Oh, up to the corner. Not going to be able to hit that. And now Gala with possession. 3:12 on the clock. Still need to get that one goal to start off their series, but not going to be able to find it on this push. Shy with the touch. It's going towards the back of the net. Rude boy Brian with the shot, but it's going to be put away by Levi. Now Krupp trying to find an outlet pass. Not going to work. Levi will be able to clear this. No boost to his name, though. Not going to be able to move much forward with this, but does get the corner boost away from X3 Tactics. That could prove beneficial in the long run. However, Airlax is awkward, and Shy is going to get the second goal for X3 Tactics here.
I mean, whenever you give Shy the opportunity to flick the ball over, he's going to execute on that 9 out of 10 times. That is his specialty. That is what he is known for. And right there, he shows exactly why. Just getting just enough to put that right over Airlax. And I mean, you want to... I mean, if X3 can keep giving Shy those opportunities, that's going to bode well for them going forward in the series. We see X3 getting more pressure here, unable to capitalize on it though, and Gala trying to take a shot, unable to put that on target though. They're going to want that one back, to say the least. Airlax going for a ground pinch, is not able to sneak it in though. Levi getting dunked. Airlax going to challenge Krupp here. They kind of just bump each other though. So that's going to give Gala the opportunity to put that one back down the field. And I mean, LumiMawcity unable to hold a ton of pressure there. What are you looking for them to do, Fade, to see them really bring this game back into striking distance for themselves?
Honestly, it's going to be tough, but they might be able to start here. Krupp will be able to get that save, but I think I'm wanting to see a little bit more of an aggressive play style here from LumiMawcity, as they kind of seem to be letting X3 Tactics run the field with a lot of their possession. Now, that miss from Gala will be helped out by Levi, but we can't be seeing misses like that. They're going to need to make solid contact with the ball. They're going to need to be looking for some outlet passes into the field, and they're not going to want to whip that. Shy getting a third goal for X3 Tactics, and this is almost game 1 over.
Yeah, and they're just leaving Levi as that third man once again. We've seen that a couple of times already And, you know, especially with somebody that's as offensively minded as Levi at that C1 rank, you don't want to see them do that too often. And already they're trying to filter it back to Levi on that kickoff. And I mean, he's back on that back line again. They're going to want to establish a bit more pressure here, because if they just keep letting X3 get shot after shot against them, I mean, that's just going to not be really favorable for them going forward in this series. They kind of did the same thing with Dignipaws last week, where they were a little bit more kind of letting a lot of shots be put on net against them, and we're going to want to see them clean that up and be a bit more aggressive going forward. You're completely right on that, Fade. But Corrupt, trying to gain a little bit of possession here, kind of messes up the control there, but they're able to get a save nonetheless. Corrupt popping it high, Shy passing it back to Corrupt on the back wall. Very good passing play by them, and Levi gets a favorable 50. Arilax trying to get pressure. Shy clearing it out, though. We're going to see Levi go on a 50 on Corrupt, is able to get it towards sidewall. Good for LumiMawcity there. And Brian trying to take a shot. Arilax there, though. We're seeing a bit more pressure from X3 here, and I mean, it's just looking like X3 just has all the control over this game, and once again, we're just seeing one team have a very dominating first game performance in these series.
And I think at the end of the day, this really comes down to the specific matchup that we are getting here, as you do have two very wanting to be aggressive teams playing in this match, and in my opinion, it just seems like X3 Tactics is just playing that aggressive game a little bit better than LumiMawcity. Ruboy Brian is doing really well on the back end, not really getting too many errant touches, not whiffing on the ball at all. Meanwhile, on the other side, you kind of have to look at Levi a little bit, having a few more whiffs and a few more unfortunate touches than the X3 Tactics side. And when it comes down to it, it's those small touches that are really going to determine how fast your team can move upfield. When you want to move upfield so much as an aggressive team, when you get put on this back end like LumiMawcity has done, it makes it really difficult for them to actually just take their own pace of play and play with their own play style. And so I really think X3 Tactics is just running the entire field. For LumiMawcity, you definitely want to see them try to make X3 Tactics play more into their game, and try to keep them on the back end as much as possible if we want to see them take this game too.
Definitely, and I mean, there's just, I mean, it's come down to those two champ ones, I think, because Brian's just really holding down that back line really well for X3, and Levi just having a little bit more struggle on that. So I mean, desirably from LumiMawcity, you're not going to want to see them leave Levi in those difficult positions very often. But as we get into game 2, we'll see if they're able to make those adjustments. So we're going to see LumiMawcity able to get it forward immediately on that kickoff, but Arilax trying to play possession, unable to get the possession he wants though. He's going to play it back into his own corner. Levi trying to make a control play out. Needs to be followed up by Arilax, though. Arilax trying to go for a demo. Very strong demo, and I mean, Shy just having a great backline play right there, able to cover for that demo. Corrupt passing towards middle, goes for a pinch, but that's Sigala is there for the save, and we're seeing kind of a back and forth ping pong game early on from these two teams.
And I know you said at the start of the match you want to look at these C1s, but honestly, I kind of want to look at the GC1s. That Shy versus Gala matchup, they are really the second man in control of the midfield on most of these plays. So whoever is playing the better touches, the better 50s, is going to give that advantage over to their team. I really think that Shy has been stepping up. Gala, a little bit quiet in that first game. They're going to need to step up massively in this game number 2 to help LumiMawcity find the win. They're going to try so right now as they get past Brian, but Corrupt's going to be the first one there. Can't find the touch out the backboard, but Shy is going to be there for the shot. Arilax with the clear, and Rude Boy Brian is going to try and take this one over. Jumps over the demo. That was actually so well played from Brian there to avoid that and continue on that offensive push. Now Arilax beating out Corrupt, Brian will be there, and Airlax just a little bit too far pushed up forward. Levi has to get the save and does so, and we remain at a tied game.
Yeah, that's just a really good save on the side of LumiMawcity there by both Gala and by Levi, just really giving Airlax the support that he needs. Airlax, a little bit of an open net miss there. He's going to want that one back, but he's still able to establish pressure here, and they were trying to hold it, but that's a good clear by Brian. Unable to get the double by Brian, but good attempt. Corrupt trying to get possession on sidewall here. Gets bumped by Shy. A little bit of a rotational error there, which is going to allow LumiMawcity to have an opportunity to hold some pressure here. Good redirect there. Brian playing it off a sidewall, giving Airlax a shot. Airlax just off the mark. And we've seen 2 times now where Airlax just seems to be ever so slightly off the mark on his shooting. He's going to want to clean that up to keep his team in the match here. Corrupt getting a 50 with Airlax. Corrupt looping back around, trying to cover. And it looks like Gala is going to have the open net. Very well played by Gala. We're seeing him step up on that offensive half, just like you were saying earlier, Fade.
Absolutely, that was such a good play. Unfortunately for LumiMawcity, they have been plagued with a little bit of accuracy issues, but with a shot as open as that one, you know Gala is going to do that. And that's what we know them for in Season 0, always being able to put in that shot off of the infield pass. Unfortunately, Airlax getting a little bit of that accuracy curse again, as I said, as he hits the post on that one. Opportunity for X3 Tactics, but the bump comes out, and no shot can be found on the net. Now with 2:09 remaining, X3 Tactics are going to need to push here, trying to find an equalizer. Levi is going to be able to clear this, but look at the side of LumiMawcity. No one has boost at all. This is going to be a perfect time for X3 Tactics to push. However, they play it slow, and Airlax is able to dunk that over. Now, Levi getting a touch out to midfield. Corrupt is going to cut that off. Flip reset. Airlax will cut that one off and takes it for himself. Trying to get past Brian, but he will stay back and patient. Shot opportunity coming out for LumiMawcity, but not able to find one. Ball still in the midfield. The shot gonna be a little bit high from Levi. Airlax for the shot once again, and it is blocked away. A minute 30 remaining, and X3 Tactics still looking to equalize.
I mean, X3 just hasn't had the same pressure that they've had last game. We've seen that more from LumiMawcity this match, so we're going to see if they're able to pick it back up. But right now, this is looking like LumiMawcity's game to lose as they take a shot on net. Airlax, good save. Airlax, a bit low on boost here. He's just able to get a 50. That's going to pinch over to the opposite side sidewall. Gala trying to clear it out. Doesn't get the strongest clear. That's going to fall to Brian. Brian plays it high. Going to be cleared over to the side. Brian trying to keep pressure. They're unable to get the 50 there, though. Corrupt getting beat by Levi there, and we're going to see if they're able to capitalize. And Gala getting the dunk. Great dunk, great pressure, great play by LumiMawcity, going up by 2, 50 seconds left.
That was excellent from Gala, seeing that there was only one person in defense, seeing the angle that they were going to have to try and clear it, and cutting that off immediately. That should be the nail in the coffin for this game number 2, but X3 Tactics has gotten a lot of offense during this series. They might still be able to find a glimmer of hope, especially with a miss like that. It's going to lead to an open net, but Rude Boy Brian accidentally puts it off to the side, and that might be it, as there's not going to be many more opportunities that you can get better than that one in this game. Gala is going to clear this one out, and that's all that LumiMawcity need to do right now, is they just need to clear the ball as far as possible. Don't whip it as much as possible, Levi, there. You got it. Airlax was there for you. But you got to make sure that your net stays clear, at least for these last couple of seconds. 10 on the clock. Corrupt looking for the pass. Shy with the shot. It's going to be put away by Gala. Levi for the clear. And it looks like LumiMawcity is going to take game number 2. We have a tied series on our hands, Fire.
We absolutely do, and maybe they're able to put one more in for that goal differential. I mean, X3, good job on them for staying in this, being able to keep their heads in the game, and able to put one away for that goal differential, because you never know when that can make all the difference in a series. But, I mean, overall, great showing by LumiMawcity. They're definitely much more competitive than in that first match, and they're going to need to keep up that pressure there if they want to be able to put this game away. And, I mean, you see there, Gala really having a standout game there, able to get 2 goals and 3 saves in that matchup. So well played, especially by all of LumiMawcity, but especially by Gala on that one. That's a great showing by him, and we're going to be looking to see him repeat that. in this next match.
Yeah, as I said, I really think that those GC1s are going to be kind of the key to unlocking the victory here in this matchup in particular. They really do give so much space for the rest of their team to move around. So they're really going to need to play some of the best Rocket League that they've played in a while to be able to get past this. And Gala did just that. Now, at a tied series, we're going to want to see how X3 Tactics can adjust to the new playstyle of LumiMawcity and how they're going to kind of counterattack this one. As I said during the game, we were seeing a lot of X3 Tactics pressure during the second half of that game. So I definitely think that there's a good chance for them. It seems almost likely that a goal is going to go in at any time. But we'll have to see what happens going into game number 3 as players get ready into the lobby. Fire, what do you think that X3 Tactics need to do in this game number 3?
I mean, I think they're just going to need to keep that same pressure that they had in game 1. Because if they're, you see when they're not able to do that, they just kind of struggle a bit more. And that's going to come out from those mid and lower ranked players. And as we see, Shy immediately putting one home for X3 Tactics. I mean, it looks like LumiMawcity might have had a little bit of an error in communication on their kickoff strats there. Both of their players going for back boost, and that's just gonna make it all that much too easy for Shy. But it looks like it's gonna go to the X3 Tactics half of the field. They're gonna get possession early on here, and Brian passing it up to Corrupt, centering it. No one there to put the shot on target though. Corrupt clearing it past the entire LumiMawcity roster. If they're quick, they might be able to put another one home, but they're unable to. Gala clearing it high. Aerolax getting the clear there. Corrupt trying to put a shot on net there. It's unable to get on target there, though. Looks like Brian is going to try for a shot, puts it wide. And Corrupt, they're keeping that pressure a lot better this game. I think that's boding well for them. And I mean, we're seeing lots of mid passes for them, lots of passing plays there, which almost pays off. Corrupt just putting it wide there. And I mean, we're seeing some really good shot accuracy there as Corrupt is able to flick it home there.
And you can see in this entire play so much boost denial, so much pressure from the X3 Tactics squad. And you can tell that both these teams are very momentum based. The team that gets the first goal usually will wind up getting the second when it comes to two teams that are so aggressive heavy. And you can see that happening right there. Just so much pressure. They weren't allowing Aerolax to move out at all. They were just continuously taking the corner boost. And that's exactly what you want to see from X3 Tactics to take this series. They have a really good aggressive rotation and they can siege the net in a way that not a lot of other teams can. Now Shy trying to get a goal on net, not going to be able to connect. You did see a little bit of accuracy issues coming out in that last play from X3 Tactics as well before that second goal. We'll see if that plagues them later on into this game. 3:30 left, and LumiMawcity need to find a way out of their half as it's been mostly in their side the entire game. Now Aerolax with the pre-flip does cut off that pass and puts Levi in an excellent shot for a goal. It's going to be an own goal, but still Levi with the redirect. That was absolutely incredible.
That absolutely was. Whenever you're able to see these Champ 1 players just putting one right towards the middle, that always has the chance to ricochet around and go in the net. So very well played by Levi to just fire that into the middle of the field, right in the middle of all those defenders, and that's going to just end up falling in their favor. Brian unable to get the touch he wants there, but a good follow-up there. And we're looking for X3 Tactics to see how they're able to bounce back from that. And it looks like Corrupt is going to try to take one full field, is able to get the flip reset on net, but Levi is able to clear that one away. Gala, shot on net.
Oh my!
No, that was Shy with insane save there. The what a save even coming out from Gala there, which is always good to see that sportsmanship, acknowledging a great play there. Gala trying to get another one on net, unable to. Aerolax is going to want to play that to corner, but he seems to just be having a little bit of trouble this series getting the touches that he wants, and you have to wonder if that's nerves or if he's feeling like he's needing to do a bit too much in this game. Brian trying to play it past Aerolax. Aerolax will not let that happen though. Double commit on the shot there, so Aerolax can try to fill in that gap. Unable to get the 50 he wants though. Brian clearing it to the other side of the field. Gala playing it to the side. And Gala kind of just hitting it towards the middle of the field, hoping somebody's there, and X3 just doesn't have that pressure that they had a game or two ago. So, I mean, we're wanting to see a little bit more of these opportunities go on net for LumiMawcity if they want to really get back into this match here. I mean, not that they're out of it by any means, but they're just missing so many opportunities that they have, it seems. Fade, what are you looking to see them put a few more of these shots on net as Airlax is able to finish that one up as it just dribbled across the X3 Tactics backline there?
Yeah, I was about to say that Airlax has some really good opportunities, but they just don't seem to be in the right sort of rotation for them. Not a really aggressive, heavy rotation. They always seem to have a couple of players back, and that is mainly about boost possession. And I would say X3 Tactics probably have a lot more boost possession than LumiMawcity does, and it does seem to actually be making quite the difference. Now, Corrupt playing the fake on Gala, it works out. Levi in the back with Airlax, a big flick on one. Airlax has to get a touch there and does so. As we just go back straight into fast-paced action off the kickoff. Gala is going to have this long, but once again, LumiMawcity don't have a lot of boost to work with. Airlax, the touch is heavy. Levi is demo, or actually gets the demo, and it actually almost worked out, but Gala couldn't put that on net. It was an open net opportunity. Now Shy getting the touch past Airlax. Ruboy Brian for the shot, and with 1:01 left, X3 Tactics take lead.
I mean, Brian is just one of those players, especially at these lower ranks. He just always seems to be in the spot he needs to be in. And he might not be doing anything super flashy or anything like that, but he's just right there when he needs to be there, and that's just really good positioning by him to be able to put that one home for X3. Now we're going to see right off the kickoff, Corrupt going for a full field solo play here. He's able to get it over the LumiMawcity defense, and that's going to set up Shy to be able to strike that one into the back of the net here.
And that's just a really nice touch, and Levi expects that to drop down onto their car, but it's a little bit off to the side. Mere pixels away, but that's all that's needed for Shy to put in that goal number 4. And this might have just gotten a bit too far behind for LumiMawcity to be able to find the equalizer here. As I say it though, Airlax with an excellent shot, and they're not out of this one just yet.
I mean, that's just an insane shot. Brian just kind of caught off guard by it on that back line, and I just don't think he was expecting Airlax to be able to wrap around that ball like that. That is a very underrated, difficult shot there, and just to be able to wrap around that ball and to put that one on net at that height is really a huge shot by Airlax. And I mean, a little bit of accuracy issues early on, but he seems to be cleaning that up really nicely, which is keeping them in this match. Now we're heading down to the final 15 seconds. X3 with pressure. LumiMawcity, they need a big clear here to get pressure and stay in this game. They're looking to do it right here. Gala, low boost, trying to stay on it, and he's not able to get the touch he wants, which is going to let Brian just clear this out. He goes for the double, a bit low on boost though.
Ooh,
and
Levi kept it up.
Levi's keeping it up. They're keeping it up so nicely. Corrupt keeps it alive, but that's going to fall. And X3 Tactics up 2-1 in this series.
And you can see at the end there, X3 Tactics had the right idea on what to do there. You can see every single challenge they had was more of a 50 just to make sure it didn't go past them. They were hitting it with the bottom of their car, trying to redirect it straight down into the ground, find an area where it was going to be really hard for LumiMawcity to move forward. And that's just something that they do so well. And that's why I think they're taking the advantage in this series so far. Lots of goals to be scored in this third game though, as you can see on the replays here. And as I said, I feel like the team that gets the first goal kind of just has a lot of momentum leading into it. And when you get a goal that early into the game, you kind of just run with the momentum until it's too much.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I've seen LumiMawcity do that a couple of times now where they have two players going back for that corner boost. And you have to wonder if that's just because they haven't really talked about that. Maybe they haven't worked out what they want to do on those. But I mean, it gives them a little bit of extra boost early on, but you have to wonder if giving up a couple of open nets there where they just can't quite get back into net before it's being put in their goal is maybe biting them a bit, and they might want to change their strats a bit on kickoff. But I mean, we'll see if they're able to do that. But as we go into this game 4 here, we're gonna want to see LumiMawcity pull this one back and make this a match here as we head into game 4. X3 Tactics up 2-1. We see a bit of an interesting kickoff there. LumiMawcity is able to get the early pressure, and we'll see if they're able to hold it. They're not able to. Gala a bit low on boost. Levi trying to fill in that gap, unable to though. And it looks like they only have one man back on defense for a second there. They got all 3 back now, and Brian is going to take a fairly easy shot there to put that one home.
And it all came down to boost again. You could see Shy earlier on in that play stole the corner boost from Gala, which would have been the first boost they got during that play. And it put them so far out of position that they weren't going to be able to get back to the shot on time. Now, Gala almost not own goaling, that was the X3 Tactics net, but almost getting a goal there. Aerolac's going to have to put this away on the other side of the field. And you're already seeing the siege once again from X3 Tactics rear its ugly head for LumiMawcity as they just keep 50ing and 50ing into the corner. What is LumiMawcity going to do here? The boost totals are low once again, and this is exactly where X3 Tactics like to be in their matches. Fully boosted up, ready to move forward on the play once again. Corrupt in the air, looking for the foot reset. Just going to take the 50 against Levi, as LumiMawcity has had time to boost up now. Your boy Brian getting the 50. Levi will have that cleared off to the side. And one more touch will put that out midfield. But Aerolax, maybe not expecting that touch to come out from Levi, misses the ball. Gala will have a touch, but Brian is so quick behind Corrupt to get there. And that might go straight into the back of the net. It's going to be wide once again. But Gala, big pinch down the side. Corrupt will have possession. Gala with the 50. And we move forward into the X3 Tactics side of the field as we reach 3 minutes 20 seconds. Still down by 1 for LumiMawcity and needing to get a goal to make sure that they can stay alive in this match.
I might see them going for more bumps and things of that regard to try to disrupt this X3 Tactics defense, because, I mean, as good as their offense is, their defense has been really solid this series, and we're seeing some really good defensive rotations come out from the X3 Tactics side of the field here. But, I mean, we're seeing a ton of pressure once again, and Shy, I mean, they're just catching them low boost and awkward so often this series, and I mean, we saw the same issue with Purrsion Rebellion in week 1, and now we're seeing it on LumiMawcity this week, where they just can't seem to get that boost advantage to be able to maintain possession through that midfield to start establishing pressure on the offensive half of the ball. And I mean, it looks like they have X3 had another opportunity to maybe put that one just all that much more difficult, but Brian is not able to get back on that ball fast enough. A little bit of a double commit there. They have an opportunity, and Levi puts it home, giving LumiMawcity the opportunity to be right back in this match. It's not over yet, everyone, and we're going to be seeing if they're able to capitalize a little bit more, just over half of this game done.
And honestly, if they would have missed that shot, I would have called it right then and there. The mental would have been so shocked at that moment. A triple commit leading to nothing. That would have been the worst feeling for LumiMawcity, especially with the accuracy issues that they have had thus far in this game and this series in particular. But now you got to be careful, because X3 Tactics is on the siege once again. Levi will be able to clear that out, and a very good 50, but Aerolax is going to be demoed here. Who will be able to challenge next? Going to be Levi once more. Aerolax has Corrupt, has Shy to beat. Plays the 50, it's in an excellent spot, but no one on the LumiMawcity side is brave enough to be moved forward on that one. Now another shot. Gala pinching that against Aerolax to put it high. Corrupt is the first one to that ball. Levi to clear it once again, but Brian is just going to be up already, and you can see Corrupt looking for the bump. Not able to make it on Aerolax, but Levi bumps his teammate. That's going to cause some definite issues. The miss, but Gala gets the shot. Corrupt with the save, and that was absolutely needed to keep X3 Tactics in the lead here.
What a low boost save by Corrupt there. I mean, he had nothing in the tank, but he's just able to keep his momentum up so well and just being able to fill in for his team when it's needed. But there's a little bit of an overcommit there. Brian just not able to cover there, and Arilax just puts yet another shot home. And, I mean, that's just a great shot by Arilax to just beat everyone to that ball and just be able to put it on net just out of reach of Brian there. And that's the sort of counterattack we want to see from LumiMawcity if they want to take this series, is we just need to see them catch X3 a bit overcommitted. And because I think X3 is a bit better positioned team composition-wise to be able to hold pressure long-term. And I think LumiMawcity is just going to need to be able to hit those counterattacks. And yeah, that's not where they want to be on that defensive front. And, I mean, Gala, low boost. Arilax going to need to take this off of him and be able to put it as a clear here. So, well played by Arilax there. And, I mean, we're seeing that X3 Tactics defense break down just a little bit, Fade. And, I mean, you're wondering what's causing them to kind of lose their defensive rotations a bit going into the second half of this game.
And I think it's just really good touches coming out from LumiMawcity, but they gotta be careful here because they're giving up so many opportunities to X3 Tactics. Another shot! It's gonna be out the crossbar. Shy goes for the redirect. It's gonna be out. And once again, LumiMawcity have no boost. Gala needs to move forward right now. Does so for Brian. Oh, that's not a great touch from Brian. Corrupt is gonna be there in time, though. The touch from Gala is gonna be weak. Now Levi, no touch. Arilax is going to have that up and out. No one to challenge in for LumiMawcity, and it looks like we might go to OT, but Corrupt's gonna try and end it in regulation. We go to overtime as the shot is missed. And LumiMawcity, life's on the line here at the start of this OT. They're gonna want a good kickoff, and they get so. Arilax putting that wide. Corrupt with the miss. Arilax with the shot. It's gonna be stopped away, and we remain tied here as an opportunity for LumiMawcity goes by the wayside, but Corrupt is air dribbling down. Gala gets the save. Shy with the shot. Levi is too far forward, and Ruboy Brian gets X3 Tactics the series.
And what a way to close it out. You see just a little bit of an awkward position there from Levi, and Brian is going to take advantage of that every time. And, I mean, Brian just once again right there at the exact position he needs to be and able to put that one home for X3 Tactics. I'm just so impressed with how well Brian is positioned on that offensive half of the ball there. And I mean, I think he was kind of the unsung hero of this series, just constantly in the perfect position he needs to be in, and just time and time again putting it home as soon as LumiMawcity was getting awkward on the defensive half of the field.
And that was really tough, honestly. I mean, well played to LumiMawcity. They were looking good, but in the end, X3 Tactics, they showed that their aggressive playstyle is really working out for them. They've got, as I said, such a good way of sieging that net every single time they're in your half. Their rotations around your boost and going for those aggressive plays has really worked out, and their 50 game has been incredible during this match. And that was the big difference that set them apart from LumiMawcity there. They had just a little bit better accuracy in the end, and their 50s were just, as I just said, on another level. You got to give it to them. But LumiMawcity, they're looking better and better each time we see them. I definitely think that they have a chance to move forward, but unfortunately for them, this week was just not their week.
No, it wasn't, and they played, I think, a bit better than they did last week. They still are cleaning up those rotations a bit, and they're looking a bit more like a unified team than they did last week. But they'll be sure to hit those scrims again and be able to even improve that even more. Do you have anything else to say about that game, or are we gonna be moving on here, Fade? Because I do have one update so far that's a little bit separate from this game.
Okay, well, I don't really think I have too much to say, guys. So, with that being said, it looks like we are going to be ready to move on to our next match here soon, which is going to be Purrsion 1 versus Dignipaws. So, guys, if you guys give us a little bit of time to go to a break, we will be back with you for our next series. Stick with us.
take it too far to say that we cannot pretend now. Was it never enough to have just everything you want? In your shadow I found a place to hide me from my own thoughts. And if I ever got lost, you'll find a way to bring me home. And I want something I can hold that's worth this waiting cold. And I want something I
Welcome on back to RFDL Week 2, Day 1. I'm Ecliptic Phase. I'm joined back by Aerolax, Docky, and Fire. And we just saw a very nice matchup versus LumiMawcity and X3 Tactics. X3 Tactics taking it in 4. And, I mean, obviously you're here, Aero. I gotta ask you, how you feeling after the match?
It hurts a little bit, I'll be honest. But honestly, like, even though X3 Tactics won that, I still think that LumiMawcity was playing very, very well. It's just, honestly, I think like what was happening is just small mistakes at just the worst possible time.
Yeah.
Who's LumiMawcity?
I said LumiMawcity.
Never heard of them.
Heard of him. I heard Mawcity, not Mawcity. This guy.
Bruh.
Even though this film team. But yeah, no.
I said
honestly,
M.
I think that you guys played really well. I can't wait to see what you can do when you're playing against a team that isn't X3 Tactics, because they were just so aggressive.
Yeah, they are.
My goodness, they just wouldn't get out of your guys' side. But Docky, you were watching that one as well. What are your thoughts after the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, X3 played exactly like I kind of thought they would. Very, very aggro. It makes you kind of like, not panic, but you kind of have to really quickly get set on defense when you have that many shots coming your way. And I mean, LumiMawcity did a pretty good job of doing that. I think like Arrow said, there was just a few mistakes at some of like just the really crucial times that just is unfortunate. I think if that goes the other way, I think that goes to Game 5, and you know, who knows who wins that game. So all around good series. So I just from a, you know, I had no stake in it, so just from watching it, it was a fun series to watch.
Yeah, you know that we're all here to watch fun Rocket League, and we've got one more match for you guys today. And this one is going to be a nice one. It's the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed right now. It's going to be Purrsion 1 versus Dignipaws. We can already see in the chat there, you guys have gone way overboard with the prediction. Multiple of you going all in on all your channel points. We'll have to see if that pays to your dividends or not. But guys, top 2 seeds, Purrsion 1 and Dignipaws looked really good last week. But I think that we can all agree that Dignipaws are the clear favorites coming into this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, they really played out of their minds last week, that Dignipaws squad, and they're just looking so strong. It would be really hard to put them anywhere but as the favorites, even though Purrsion 1 also had a very strong showing last week. So I mean, I wouldn't be super surprised to see Purrsion 1 take this match, but I do think Dignipaws have over a 50% chance to win this one, in my opinion, so we'll need to see. Going on caster predictions, every single one of us had Dignipaws in this one. So a little update on today as a whole. I'm the only one that got it right by choosing X3. So we want to see more correct picks by our casters, guys. Gosh dang it.
Well, I'm still happy to have proven you all wrong earlier. So that you can blame me for some of those. But guys, let's go ahead and start talking about these teams as we get ready for this match. Let's start off with the team that beat Cloud9 last week. It's Purrsion 1, managed by the one and only Cookie Cat. And this is going to be Hayes, Drake, and Golden. And these guys are looking like they're at the top of their game right now.
Yeah, I was surprised. I think I mentioned this when we were going over the upcoming matches today. I was surprised week 1 with how well they clicked. I did not expect that. So they're playing really, really smooth. Their gameplay is like just nice to watch. Just the way that they rotate. So they're playing really, really well. If they keep that up, I think they are a lot better than I think a lot of us expected. So we'll have to see if that goes into game 1. But yeah, this is the way they've been playing has been fantastic.
I mean, they're one of those teams that's just so balanced right around that GC1, GC2 mark for all of their players. So, I mean, that can't be understated. There's really no weak point for other teams to take advantage of there. So, I mean, they got a solid squad, and we'll see if they're able to really show it off today. Arrow, what are you feeling about it?
gonna be honest, I'm still trying to like calm myself down from that last match.
Okay, his 9 might not be right in the match just yet, but don't worry, he'll be there by the time he's casting. But honestly, Purrsion 1, they looked really, really good last week. I want to see if they can do it again. This is going to be a very hard squad that they're going to be playing against. And honestly, let's talk about them. As we said, the clear favorites in this matchup, it is going to be Dignipaws coming out here. And this is also a team with a manager that is not playing. Roomski is here, but Sylvie, Kiki, and Kilo are the main 3 members of that squad. And they looked very dominant in their game versus, I believe it was BDS last week. No, not BDS. Who did they play last week?
I believe they played Purrsion Rebellion.
Ah, yes, Purrsion Rebellion. They looked super good against them. Are they going to be able to take it to the Purrsion 1 squad?
I mean, I think they stack up fairly favorably against Purrsion 1, especially with that Sylvie Kiki combination. I mean, you see it on their player cards. You have Sylvie just establishing that pressure, being a second in shots per game, and then you see Kiki being in the top 5 for goals per game. So, I mean, I think their chemistry is pretty clear there. I mean, you have, those two just play so well together. We've scrimmed against them, and they are a nightmare to scrim against. So, I mean, you have one player that's going to be getting a bunch of shots on net, and then somebody just cleaning up any mess that's left over. That's always going to be a good duo to have, and I'm looking forward to seeing them play today. Rocky?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was trying to collect my words. I mean, yeah, I think that they're a great team. Been a very in support of their success. I think just as a team, trying to see if they can kind of get their rotations in line. They played really, really well week 1, but there also were some faults I think that were there just offensively. So if they can work that out, I think they'll be an extremely strong team. But they have a lot going for them. I think they have a massive advantage just from the get-go, which is I think why the majority of us view them as a favorite here. So if they have the potential for some incredible offensive play, they just haven't quite been, I think, hitting their peak yet. So we'll see if they're able to do that here going into this week 2 matchup.
Yeah, I have to agree there. I definitely think that they have the momentum from last week. We had they definitely have the pressure. I mean, we always keep talking about how Sylvie is going to be the top GC3 for good reason. We're gonna have to see if they can use that to their advantage, see if they can pop off a little bit during the match. But Fire, I believe you said that we all have Dignipaws here on this match. Is that correct?
Let me pull it up again really quick, but I believe so. Yeah, I have Dignipaws 3-1. Daki has Dignipaws 3-0. Same with Arilax. Fade, you're with me 3-1. And then Static, our guest from the podcast last week, shout out to him, chose Dignipaws 3-1. So, I mean, we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, that is for sure. But I think if anybody doesn't have any last words here, I think we are ready to get in. So everybody, anything else to say?
I think we about covered it.
All right. Well, if that's the case, guys, it's time for our 3rd and final match of the day. This one is going to be a spicy one. It's going to be Dignipaws versus Purrsion 1. Who's going to join our winners today? Arilax and Daki going to be on the cast for this one. So enjoy, everyone, and we'll see you in the match.
Alright, and here we go. Purrsion 1 versus Dignipaws. At the start of this week, both were in the 1 and 2 seeded position, tied for it. We're going to have to see who of these two teams is going to take this one. As we see Purrsion 1 and Dignipaws so far not really getting too much pressure on either side. Sylvie getting a good shot there, but it's just going to get saved away. Now Hayes with a massive shot downfield, and it's just going to go in, and that's going to be one for Purrsion 1 already.
Do you want to point out we do not have replays, unfortunately, so we will not be able to point those out on the replays.
Yeah,
but
sadly.
one thing I do want to point out, Airlex, is both these teams in that 1 and 2 spot in their first week matchup, and I know I'd mentioned that Dignipaws wasn't as offensively clicking as they might have the potential to be, but both are very offense-heavy teams. There's a lot of shots on net, and we saw coming out of both sides in their week 1. So I expect to see, I think, a lot of offense, and I think we saw that with that first goal and maybe a second goal. Not quite.
Nearly getting that.
Yeah, breakdown defense might be the name of the game here to see who.
Oh
no!
No!
And as I say that, that's a really unfortunate own goal. This Purrsion won a 2-0 lead with 3:50 left to go in the game.
That is so unfortunate there. Just the 50 going right into Kiki's car, just slamming in the back of the Dignipaws net. But Dignipaws is just gonna have to brush that one off. Just try and keep going here, because so far, even though Purrsion 1 has a 2-goal lead, Dignipaws still playing very, very well here. As you can see here, able to get this one saved over to the side, but just not really keeping too much possession. However, as I say that, a bump coming out. Kiki trying to get this around. Sylvie's going to have to make a save here. And the good 50 going into the Purrsion 1 corner. Golden going to slam this one downfield. Dignipaws going to have to scramble back for this. Now Kiki over to Sylvie. It's not going to get there. Drake going to cut that one off. And another cut off. Sylvie has to save this one over to the corner. A great save there. Now Sylvie with the reset. Tries to get it past, but just is not able to get it by Drake. Lucy now a massive clear out. 3 minutes left on the clock. It looks like the scoring has started to stop a little bit for Purrsion 1. Dignipaws starting to find their footing a little bit here, and they might be trying to mount a counterattack as a pinch goes all the way down to Purrsion 1. Golden going to have to catch this one.
It feels like possession's just not quite there. So the ball's bouncing back and forth quite a bit. Unfortunate miss. They will not be punished for it. It still is dangerous. Still is going to have to make it save. Not quite out of it yet. And the possession, kind of make shots and boom the ball away. There's been some opportunities where they might have some bump plays, might have some passing, but it's quite taking that opportunity, maybe get other players involved for both sides here. Well, this is not good for Dignipaws, as they need to start scoring. Almost feels like they need to start scoring now. Not gonna have too many opportunities. So not really doing so good on boost as well. So he does have full. Able to take full possession though. There isn't a passing opportunity, but that will be cut off. Right now it just seems that Purrsion 1's just pretty comfortable to let this ball just bounce around in the midfield and then score it, save the scoring opportunities when they need to.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially with that 2-goal lead coming up on 90 seconds remaining, that's really all they need to do to secure this game 1. They don't need any more goals, however. We see a little bit of an attempt there from Hayes. Now that's going to allow Dignipaws a little bit of a counterattack, but Golden going to be able to get a save over to the corner there. And we're starting to see a lot more pressure from Dignipaws here, getting a bit more dangerous for the Purrsion 1 side, as we see all of Purrsion 1 with 0 boost there for a second. That is very, very dangerous for their side. But we're going to see a musty here. Kilo just going to put this one over. Little bit of a miss there from Kiki. And that's just going to allow Purrsion 1 once again to just take control of this ball. Coming up on 45 seconds left. Sylvie tries for the reset, but Drake is going to cut this one off. And Purrsion 1 just doing so very well to just cut off every single opportunity that Dignipaws is having so far. However, as I say that, Sylvie just going to show off those mechs for a second. Just get a double right past Hayes. And Dignipaws still 1 goal down, but they might have a chance in this game once again.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to see that one again. That was a nice double. Got the opportunity and definitely took it. So he's not missing that double when he has that much space. They might have a little bit of life in this game. It's not a whole lot of time, so they're going to need to try to get a counterattack moving as quickly as possible. But at the very least, it is nice to see Dignipaws get some offensive pressure, have some offense, at least presence on offense. It's an unfortunate miss from Sylvie. Might not allow them to put... Yeah, and Drake's just going to knock that one away, unfortunately. 0 seconds left, and that one will be the end of it. Purrsion 1 takes game 1, but we did start to see some life from Dignipaws there in the half. They definitely ramped up the offense. I think they can take that momentum going into game 2.
Indeed, indeed. But Purrsion 1 just coming out, just guns blazing, honestly. That was just such a good performance there. Just a long shot there. And then I believe it was an own goal for that second one as well. Very unfortunate, but you know, those kind of things just happen.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah, but Dignipaws, once again, just was doing very, very well there. Just being able to bring that back, especially with that double from Sylvie, just very, very impressive.
Yeah, if they can keep that momentum, I think, remember that they can, gotta remember how to get that offense going. I think they can definitely a little bit more, I think, on the offensive side. If they can get past the brick wall that Purrsion 1 seemingly was in their defensive third, not a whole lot of opportunities, but they started to make some more in that second half. So I think hopefully we'll see more of that going into game 2.
Yeah, hopefully, as we're going to get into game 2 here very shortly. And I'm honestly really expecting this to be very close already. Dignipaws taking that loss, but again, was starting to really make a comeback there. And I feel if they're able to just keep up that momentum, then they'll be able to get a lot more opportunities on net as we get into the second game here. And we're going to see already an opportunity for Purrsion 1, and it's going to go off the post. That's definitely not a way you want to start a game.
That is a Rocket League moment for sure. Defensive misstep into a post shot. Fantastic sidewall redirect from Sylvie. Gets the ball out of their dangerous territory. Already seeing a little bit of a defensive breakdown, I think, from Dignipaws. That might come back to bite them. It's a little bit wide. Ace has full possession. It's a great bump to get him off. The Golden will be there for a shot. Might have it through. It's just so awkward. Oh, Sylvie's there to save them. Still not out of it yet. Ball's still lingering. And I can't seem to get this ball cleared out. It still stays in their defensive third. He's gonna have to try to get a clear here. It gets well off the sidewall. Fantastic clear out. They finally do get this ball out of their own half. Purrsion 1, I know we said this, they're already starting to click a bunch, and a lot of these rotations that they're having are making them very dangerous to go up against, as it seems like every time there's someone taking a shot, there's always someone rotating in behind them to make sure that the ball stays dangerous.
As we see here, oh, very close double there, but Drake just able to clear this one out and then possibly go for a double of his own.
Oh.
It's just gonna get saved away, but Golden gonna be there for the follow-up. It's gonna get saved out, but then Hayes finally going to slam that one home. And that was just so much pressure on the Dignipaws net from Purrsion 1 there, just shot after shot, just taking out defender after defender until finally there was an open play there. And that's just what Purrsion 1 has been doing very well so far. I feel just really just putting on that pressure. Dignipaws not entirely being able to deal with it that well. They're just gonna have to try and find a way to deal with that, as Purrsion 1, if it's working, it's not gonna change, as that one's just going to get walked right the way in. Drake just putting that one home, and just 2-0 for Purrsion 1 once again.
It almost feels that even when there's an offensive opportunity for Dignipaws, it still is the counterattack. It's still dangerous, as that opportunity presented itself there. And again, it's just the communication from Purrsion 1 for their team has to be entirely fantastic. I mean, they're playing so well around each other. This is a pancake there. We'll kill that one. And a little bit of an awkward defensive situation for Dignipaws, but they will get out of it. They will need to try to move this one forward. 228, they're down 2, so definitely not the end of the world. Again, I think they're getting beat here in the midfield. It's the pressure. That one might just.
Oh, that one's in.
Oh my goodness. Totally calculated goal there, but yeah, that might just be a breakdown, and no one in net to defend that pinch out. Very, very powerful pinch goes in. Purrsion 1 takes a 3-0 lead in game 2. With 2:10 left on the clock.
Yeah, and Dignipaws just gonna once again have to try and find their footing here, but now even more of a deficit than in game 1. Purrsion 1 might be starting to figure out how this Dignipaws team is playing, as we see them get a ton of saves here. Just able to keep this one just out of the net. But we're still seeing a lot of pressure from Dignipaws here as well. Drake trying to get up for this, but just doesn't have much boost to really follow it. But again, just it feels that Purrsion 1 is just putting on so much pressure, not allowing Dignipaws any free balls whatsoever, and that is working to their benefit so very well.
They're doing a good job of making the Dignipaws team awkward. We're seeing quite a bit of double commits, I think, coming out of the defense there, just trying to scramble back into defense. Every time the ball goes popping out, they're not quite in a position to deal with it. And that's kind of the situation you're in when you're dealing with shot after shot. Is that you kind of have to, you're hoping for the ball to go out for so you can make a play. A redirect. And that actually might work in their benefit. Hayes will get the clear. Kiki needs to get a good touch and does. But it does feel that the pressure is just getting to the best of them. They kind of have to scramble back on the defense. As we see here again, going to get on low boost, just try to hit that ball. Not really in a favorable position, but anywhere that's out. And Drake with full boost will take care of that rather easily. Again, just not a whole lot of opportunities here for Dignipaws. 40 seconds left. You have to feel that this game might be coming to an end closely.
It might be. As we, yeah, just 30 seconds left. Dignipaws gonna have to get pretty much an average of 1 goal every 10 seconds. They're gonna try it, but that one's just gonna get pinched away, and that one's going to be pretty much game for Dignipaws. And Purrsion 1 now most likely going to be on triple match point. Dignipaws gonna have to try and take a reverse sweep here in order to have a chance in this series.
I'm not sure, is this a breakdown of the Dignipaws offense, or is this just a fantastic rotation and defensive rotation from Purrsion 1? There were very few opportunities, I think, there for Dignipaws. They had a few, but anytime there was an opportunity, it felt like Purrsion 1 was pouncing all over it. And then, of course, on the counterattacks on the offense, Purrsion 1 was everywhere. And just shot after shot, making them scramble on defense. It felt kind of one-sided, I think, a little bit there, rotationally.
A little bit, yeah. But I feel that Dignipaws definitely has it in them to kind of just figure out what's going on and just adapt accordingly to how this Purrsion 1's team is playing. Because, don't get me wrong, Purrsion 1 is playing very well right now. But no team is perfect, and Dignipaws, I feel, might be able to find the cracks in the armor and might be able to turn this series around.
I definitely agree with that. They showed lots of life, and then at the end of game 1, and I think in the middle of that second game, they had, I think, a little bit of control there. It's just going to be a matter of I think connecting and trusting in each other. If they can keep their heads up, or keep their heads down rather, and not let it get to them that they are on triple match point, like you said. It's kind of a more nervous position to be in. But if you don't let that get to you, I think this Dignipaws team can rebound from that and regain.
Yeah, absolutely. But still, it's a very difficult situation to be in here for Dignipaws, as they now know, every single one of those players knows that if they lose just one more game, they have lost this series.
Oh.
And it's already not looking too good for them, as Dignipaws gets a chance on net, but it's just going to get sent all the way back to the other side of the field. Now Golden taking control of this, gets it around 1, but isn't really able to control it much more. Kiki gonna pop that one out. Sylvie with a great touch, but that's just gonna go only as far as Drake. Sylvie once again trying to put this one out. And I'm not seeing too much possession from Dignipaws, honestly. I feel like that's what might be plaguing them, as Kiki just gonna pop this one right over to Drake, and Drake gonna slot that one bottom right. And Purrsion 1 once again opens up the scoreline.
Yeah, I have to agree with what you just said. I just feel like the possession game is just not quite there. And again, I feel like that's a domino effect from the pressure that Purrsion 1's putting on. It feels like every time you touch the ball, you have to kind of get rid of it, or else you're going to get counterattacked. And we see that here, is they might have an opportunity there, but they just hit the ball away, and Hayes will be there for that ball. There's an opportunity, but Drake with full boost will just sit and wait for it. I will say this Dignipaws team does feel like they're playing a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more controlled than they were last game. So they definitely have it in them, I think, to equalize this game. We'll need to try to not get scored on, though. So I definitely don't want to go down 2 goals here in game 3, down 2 in the series.
Yeah, absolutely, you don't want to, but Purrsion 1 is definitely going to like that if they can. But Sylvie so far just really showing up on defense here, getting a lot of massive clears out of their half. But the issue with those massive clears is that while it does get the ball away from your net momentarily, it just gives possession right back to Purrsion 1, as we can see here. Hayes just going to be able to control this. A little bit of hesitation there, but once again, Purrsion 1 just going to be able to mostly get away with this. As you can see, Drake, massive clear. That's going to be over the defender, and that is the second one for Purrsion 1 once again.
That is so unfortunate. You could feel they felt that they might have had a scoring opportunity there. I think they might have committed to it. You want that goal. You want to equalize. Maybe third man pushes up a little bit to hope for a lucky pop out, but that ball just flies over everybody. Unfortunately, when you pushed up like that, no one's back to save that one. Is a misflip from Sylvie. You were saying Sylvie was getting a lot of those good clears defensively, but I think that one's just a little bit of a misread. That's a tough situation to be in when that ball comes flying almost directly in the net when you're sitting there waiting for it. But now they're down 3 with 2:41 left, down 2 in the series scoreline. This is kind of a scary situation for Dignipaws.
Indeed it is. There's half the game remaining. Dignipaws, so far I believe only scoring 1 goal this entire series. I might be wrong about that, as a pinch nearly goes into the Dignipaws net. Looks like Purrsion 1 is just putting on all of the pressure here and just showing such a dominant performance in this series. As Sylvie gonna get this one over 1, but just isn't able to control that, and just that small bit of just that small lack of control is just all that Purrsion 1 needs to just completely take control of this. As we see here, just Dignipaws is getting a couple more opportunities, but just Purrsion 1 once again just able to shut them down so very well.
Almost feels like a overcorrection, maybe. They definitely are trying to get more offensive pressure, but it feels like they're just kind of making it a little bit more awkward themselves on the rotations back into defense, as they're a little bit slower, I think, on these midfield balls. And that's just allowing Purrsion 1 to just take control and just continue shooting. And when you're down 3, it's just such a tough situation to be in. You definitely want to score. Purrsion 1 was doing everything they can to make sure that not only do they not lose this lead, they don't lose a single goal. A minute 9 left in. Still not necessarily over. There's an opportunity there, but once again, it's just shut down. Kilo goes to go again. Maybe fakes it, goes low. Sylvie does not get the corner boost, which might make it a little bit more difficult. Does get the bump. Kiki shot's a little bit wide, though. And with 50 left, they might have to score now. Fortunately for them, though, they definitely have a monumental task ahead of them if they want to stay in the series.
Oh, what a save from Hayes there. Just able to put that one out, and 40 seconds left. Dignipaws just really not looking good in this game here. Are just going to have to try and find something quick, but we're seeing just so much hesitation, especially from Sylvie there. They're just going to have to try and get rid of that hesitation as quick as possible. With 20 seconds left, 3 goals down. You're going to need a miracle to come back in this one.
Definitely. And with 15 seconds left, might be a scoring opportunity, but again, just no one there to follow that one up. As we hit 10 seconds left on the clock, they're down 3. Unfortunately, I don't even think the best players in the world can come back from that deficit. As the clock winds down, it will be Purrsion 1 taking this one in a 3-0 sweep, and honestly in a pretty almost one-sided means there. They definitely had, I feel like, the most of the control throughout that entire series.
Yeah, that was such a good performance from Purrsion 1 there. They played that so very well, and Dignipaws was playing well in their own right, but just was not able to keep up with just all the pressure, just all the team synergy that I saw there. Just so very well played.
Yeah, definitely. But again, if you're Dignipaws, you take this one on the chin. It's only week 2, so as any of the teams that have lost the series this match, it's a matter of regaining. It's only 1 loss, so you take it and kind of regain with your team. A lot of Rocket League left to play.
That is right. A lot of Rocket League left to play, as it is only the second week, but a good job from Purrsion 1 there. And I gotta say, guys, we keep doubting this team, and they keep showing up in the biggest way. When are we gonna start predicting these guys?
Well, I feel like I have to start predicting against them just so that they keep winning, I guess. It gets to the storyline. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I did not expect this chemistry from them, and they continue to do it. They did it again this week, and it's a scary team for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Arrow, what do you think about this Purrsion 1 squad? I know that at the start we didn't really have too high of expectations of them. A lot of us put them low in our tier list during the podcast. They're showing up really big. What's your take?
I guess they just came to play, honestly. Like, that was just such a good performance from them. Because, like, especially pointing out that Purrsion 1 and Dignipaws were tied for first place going out of week 1, and then to just complete yet another sweep against the second place team. That's a little terrifying.
Yeah, I have to agree. Well, guys, we are almost done with the day. We are going to be discussing the leaderboard, of course, as well as the rest of the schedule. But let's talk about the schedule while we wait for that leaderboard to be updated, guys. If we look at the schedule, 3 of these matches are now completed. Tomorrow, we will be starting off with Awaptic Gaming versus Dignipaws, our featured matchup of the week. We're going to be following that by BDS versus Black Bunny Gaming, and finishing off the day with Protogen Rebellion versus Fox Clan. These are going to be some very excellent matchups. Some really good teams. A lot of them, Dignipaws and Awaptic, of course, our featured matchup. Both teams 1-0 on the season so far. Only one of them can go up to 2-0. Along with Protogen Rebellion and Fox Clan. Now, I want to talk about that one a little bit going into it. Now, we have talked about Protogen Rebellion maybe having a bit of a comeback recently in scrim results, guys. How do you think that matchup's going to go?
Oh, I'm excited to see that. I'm very excited to see that one play itself out. I mean, that is the GC3 GC2 matchup. So pretty even. Yeah, anyone can take that one. I think it's just going to come down to the chemistry. And as we've been seeing, as you mentioned, they've been having a resurgence in scrims. So Protogen has been. So we'll see if that'll show itself in their game.
Yeah, Arrow, what match are you looking excited for most tomorrow?
Protogen Rebellion. Of
Oh,
course.
yeah, of course, of course.
Yep,
Why
yep.
should I have even asked? I mean, I think all
Yeah,
the
like-
matches are going to be really good, though. I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to
that's
Awaptic versus Dignipaws.
Yeah, that one's definitely also going to be very, very entertaining. But
Mhm.
it just honestly, every single match, I'm just very, very excited to see how they go.
Yeah, I have to agree. There are definitely going to be some strong matchups. And, of course, tomorrow we'll be able to talk more in depth about some of the Week 3 matchups as well, as those are going to be probably pretty spicy as well. But I think our leaderboard is just about done getting updated, guys. I'm just going to check in on that. It looks about done. Yeah, we are good to go. So give just a second to get the leaderboard up for you guys. And we'll talk about that before we get going on the end of the day. Very excited to see where a lot of these teams have ended after the day. Now, obviously, there are still 3 more teams that need to play, and we'll get their leaderboard updated tomorrow. But as of right now, here's the leaderboard for week number 2. You can see here, Purrsion 1 up in first place, followed by X3 Tactics, Awaptic Gaming, Dignipaws, Black Bunny, and Dignipaws now following them. Squad 9 moving up to 7th after their win. Fox Clan in 8th, Big Dragon Squad in 9th, and the bottom of the leaderboard, we got Protogen Rebellion, and unfortunately, LumiMawcity and Twisted Tails are going to be taking those bottom spots with their 0-2 performances. But as we said, this is a 22-week league. We got plenty of time to move those standings up. They're going to be moving around a lot at the beginning. as teams get win and losses, but I'm sure soon enough we'll be seeing some of those lower teams going back up into those top 8 spots. But yeah, guys, that's the matches for today. What do you guys think about the standings? What do you guys think about the day in general?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this will obviously it's week 2, so a lot of the win percentages are going to be a little bit wonky here as we start things out. That'll probably even itself out as the season goes on. But I mean, you can't not look at that 100% win rate for Purrsion 1. I think that's insane. So I mean, yeah, it's like even if you're at the bottom, you know, we got a lot of time, we got a lot of games to play, and that can all shift around. So it's really hard to tell where anyone's going to be even 2 weeks from now.
I mean, you can see like all those arrows, people are moving up and down and all over the place just all the time right now, especially this early in the season. We're going to be seeing a lot of movement on this leaderboard, so things might settle out a bit more as we get more games into the season, but for now it's every team is still in for these top spots, so I mean, we'll see who's able to rise to the top within the next few weeks.
I'm guessing Arrow is you got any?
Sorry,
I
I was updating.
Man has one focus on his line. The Purrsion gets on a task and he cannot stop until it's been completed. But guys, I think that is it for day number 1 of this what should I say? This week, of course. I don't know how to word, guys. It's been a long day. It's been a lot of series, and we've got 3 more series for you guys tomorrow. GG's to everyone who's played, and make sure to come in tomorrow and check out day number 2. Of course, we will be live later on tonight and possibly tomorrow night with RFDL After Dark. So if you want to just hang out with the casters, chill out in chat and everything while we goof around, be sure to join us then. It's going to probably start around 10 p.m. EST, maybe a little bit later, might be 11, but just watch your notifications for me going live and we'll join you there for some fun. But as I said, guys, that's it for the day. We will see you all here tomorrow for day number 2 of week number 2 of the RFDL. We'll see you later.
All right, Fade, we need the correct screen this time around. The correct card.
Jeez.
We got it. Hey, good job, Cookie. Honestly, like, I still can't believe it. Honestly.
Do you know how hard it was to hold that
Oh,
shit in for...
wait.